Everyone, listen, it's time. It's finally time. It is. Friday, April 29th at 9:15 will be the first show of I Choose You, and I need everyone to be there. I have NFL, I have some entertainers, I have blue collar, I have white collar. But listen, guys, I'm not done yet. I'm not done with receiving applications. So make sure all you eligible bachelors, make sure you drop me a DM in there, or either go to sbshow2020@gmail. I'm still accepting applications. And Lapeef, thank you so much for allowing us to sponsor your show. And everyone, April 29th, Friday at 9:15, the first show of I Choose You.
So sick of waiting for any luck to come my way. Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello. I hope everyone is doing fine on this second Good Friday. I understand last Friday was Good Friday, but guess what? Today is Friday and it's going to be a Good Friday also. It already has been. So welcome. This is Unsolicited and I am Security Boss, and I hope we all are having a wonderful day. It's just getting started, guys. I hope you all are enjoying this 4:00 Eastern time slot that I've chosen. It seems like we're going to have a good turnout. I enjoyed it last Friday. I hope you all did also. I'm glad to see some of you back this Friday. Just continue to come on in, and I appreciate you, Stephen Day. Hello, how are you? I'm so glad you all are here. Remember, guys, when you're coming into the live, make sure you're giving me the thumbs up. We have a good show planned for today. We really do. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to need y'all help because remember, on Fridays, it's gender talk. That means we need, and I would love to have comments from the females and the males, right? So I need everybody participating. So Vaughn, how are you, Mr. Bryant? Patrice, how are you doing? Good to see you. Hadn't seen you in a while. Good to see you though. So listen, guys, as you come in, make sure you're giving us a thumbs up. There's a couple things I want to let you all know before we begin the show, but today's show is going to be exciting. I know it's going to be controversial, but hopefully we'll end with some type of, I'm not going to say solution. We think we can't get there. How about understanding of each other? That would be great. Some understanding. So with that being said, Mr. Bennett, how are you? Mr. Steele, how you doing today? I hope all is doing well. Listen, let me know. I still want to know how you all think. What do you all think about this Friday 4:00 show? It's just so much competition during the week to look, to be able to see everyone. Even for myself, I can't see people that I want to see because I'm actually working. So I hope this will work and you all can go moderate, do whatever you got to do and still be here at SB Nation. I'm just hoping it works for everyone and we'll continue to do it because it definitely is working for me. So thank you all for that. But just want to let you all know a couple of things. The SB Nation gear, the merchandise is not here yet, but we've put it together. Bro, man, BCDC, hi, how are y'all? Good to see you guys. It's here. So what I want y'all to do, it's not here yet. Let me say it differently. We've already created. I'm going to give all the credit to Mr. Boss. He puts his mind to it and he comes up with these things and I just say yes or no. And I'll be saying nothing most of the time because he always has the right idea. Remember, he's the man. Final word. So anyway, I need y'all to go to my channel. In the top right-hand corner, there's this little globe. And if you click the globe, it takes you directly to the merchandise. I just want to hear what you think. We got hats, we got sweatshirts, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, very nice looking, very neat. And I just want to get your opinion on it. And even if you have some suggestions on some other things that we can do, I would definitely love for you all to give your suggestions because listen, you all have been embraced into SB Nation, just in case you didn't know. You all are part of SB Nation and I appreciate you all. So I would love for you all to do that. Remember, just go to the channel, top right-hand corner, the little globe, click it and you will see everything that's there. So the other thing is, I hope y'all enjoyed the show on Wednesday, the Daily Wrap Up Crew. And if y'all have not subscribed to that channel, go check it out. The Daily Wrap Up Crew. The guys I just loved them. There's some great guys. I've been meeting great men in this YouTube space. I mean, I just want to say that you guys are definitely representing. I have been meeting some wonderful guys in this YouTube space. Really, I have. And I'm not just saying that. been true. Not saying that I haven't met any terrific women, but the men, y'all are really standing out. And the women, I want you all to stand up more. Sir Chai, how are you? Thank you so much for your $5 super chat. It says happy Friday, Mr. and Miss Security Boss. Thank you so much for your support. And it is a good Friday. I love it. Thank you much for that, though. The other thing I want to mention, on the other day when we did the daily wrap up crew, we took the Moneyline song up to $49 only because we wanted to have the conversations. I didn't want to have a lot of interruptions, but it had nothing to do with anything else. But I want to tell you guys, it's back now. The Moneyline song, $9.99 value. You get the Moneyline song. We can have conversations. I support. Listen, anything that you would do for Security Boss and SB Nation is very much appreciated. So whatever you want to do, I'm going to read all your super chats, but to get the Moneyline song, it is $9.99 for that particular song. Now, I want to bring you up to date on I Choose You. I Choose You's first show is next Friday, guys. So what's going to happen on next Friday? I'm going to do double shows. So y'all going to see my face all day. How about that? So Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be here with you doing gender talks just like I am today right now. And then later on that night at 9:15 will be the first show of I Choose You. Now, listen, y'all got to put that on your calendar. You got to put some alerts in your phone. You got to do something because you got to be there. I need you all there at 9:15 so we can go over some, I'm not going to say rules and regulations, but some, what is it? What do I want to call it? Some things I need y'all to know about the show so we all can participate because I'm going to need y'all help. Y'all know y'all judging, right? And just in case you didn't know, you're judging. You're in there. This is going to be a group effort. Everybody plays the game. All right. So, Mr. Awesome, hey, how are you? Everybody plays the game. So I'm going to need all of y'all there. And I need y'all there at 9:15 so y'all can hear all the, I ain't gonna call them rules, but hear all the gameplay. So, because I want y'all to be involved. And that's the only way this thing is going to be creative, fun, and no awkwardness. We're just having a good time. Pound for pound. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for your $2 super chat. And hello to you also. So listen, again, I want to make sure, listen, y'all got to be there. Y'all got to make that first show successful because y'all already know how it is. When the first show goes off without a hinge, then from there on, we're cooking. Y'all already know. Mr. C, how you doing? Thank you guys for being here so much. 9 p.m. Yeah, Mr. Vaughn, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We're dealing with some people that are on the West Coast. And, they're 3 hours behind us, but we want everybody to participate. So we're trying to keep it right there. We're going to try to make sure the show is no more than 2 hours. So by 11 o'clock, we should be in our bed. I ain't going to lie. We should be thinking about being in our beds almost asleep, but not quite yet asleep. But hopefully, we're going to see how that works. Friday night is normally, Friday's a good day. It's coming out to be a real good day. That's why we pick Friday night. But if we want feedback from all of you. So Mr. Vaughn, I need feedback from you also. Sway, how are you doing, Sway? You ain't working today? Are you in between jobs? Good to see you. So anyway, guys, listen. Okay, it's 6 p.m. So you're one of those ones who, well, guess what? For me, it's 9:15 Eastern time. It's 6:15 for you. You're right. So listen, we're going to get into it, guys. And I need y'all help because this is gender talk. And it looks like I'm the only woman that's representing right now. I'm sure y'all probably in the background. Ine, thank you, Ine, for joining us. We have another woman here. So guess what, though? We two married women. I don't know if we're going to be too much controversy. But today's topic is, men, are you willing to negotiate with a modern woman? Now, this is coming from my co-producer, Aaron O. Now, for those of you who don't know Aaron O, Aaron lots of times is on, he actually runs the late night show for Anton over on Anton Daniels network. He runs the late night show. And Aaron is also the person that's co-producing I Choose You with me. Now, the other day on Wednesday, I had the daily wrap-up crew on, and then Aaron actually came on too. So what I'm going to share with you, and this is going to be the topic of the day, I'm going to share with you what Aaron brought to the table when he actually cammed up and what he said. So that's going to be how we start this off. And when he's done, we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I think. And then I want to hear exactly what you all think. So those of you that are modern women and men who are in the dating game right now, who want to be married or whatever the situation is, your thoughts, your concerns, whatever it may be, we want to hear it. but it's all stemming from the video or the show that we had on Wednesday. So I need for you all to make sure you pay attention. And if we got to revert back to it, we can. It's my video. So here it goes right here. Black man, hello, the blue shirt. You like the blue shirt with that beautiful dark skin is banging. Oh, thank you, black man. It's Friday. It's Friday. Hey. So anyway, guys, stay tuned for the video. Oh, listen, who is this? Gracious Eightness. Hello, how are you? So come on, let's hit this video and let's just see what's going on.
I want, because listen, I posited this viewpoint a while back ago. Mm-hmm. We got away from the needing of each other because women don't want to do 50-50 with a man anymore. For whatever the case is, they have that right? And they make their own money. Mm-hmm. So before they would tell you, they would say your grandmother stayed with your granddaddy, even though he had a family across town. I don't know if y'all familiar with that, but most people are, right? But they had to stay with him because they couldn't. They needed him, right? But now we make our own money, and that's why we don't stay, right? Mm-hmm. So what happened is money has been injected in the conversation, which is causing a bigger divide amongst relationships because the need to stay is gone. It's only want. And since we have converted from a need to a wants-based thing, you see how people act when you don't need someone. You discard. So when you break it down like that, this is how I present day, right? Because I don't believe that we can revert to the past and go back. I believe once we go to a future, only thing it does is continues to evolve. That's why you hear young people say, "Oh, old person, you off, man. It's a new age out here." They keep telling the old folks, no, just do it this way. This is what I know. And young people say, no, you're seeing a conversion in dating. You're seeing a conversion in relationships. So what does that mean? Women have made money. So they come to the table and they said, I want to renegotiate the contracts of relationships. Mm-hmm. So no longer are the men going to be the way the man used to be. That means if you cheat, I ain't staying. I ain't got to listen. This money gives me power. Mm-hmm. And that confuses women because money gives men power. It gives women the ability to sustain, but it doesn't give them power over men. So there's a confusion there because a man will tell you quickly. Men have actually showed they don't really care. They'll lead. Look, they do you dirty. You can have more money. You can pay for their housing. You can be a hobo sex. Men don't care. Money is not enough to purchase a man. It's very difficult to do.
Right.
Sadly, women are purchased. Whether you like the way I said it or not, sadly, that's just how it is. So what you're seeing, in my opinion, is a women coming to the table saying we want to renegotiate the relationship of how it's laid out, and you'll see the struggle because men don't want to budge, and women are saying, "Well, with this damn money, I'll be single because y'all gonna change," and that's all.
But before we get started, I want to say hello to a couple of people. Bolo, Robert H., Luke Casely. Thank y'all for being here. And Bolo, thank you so much for your super chat. And he says, keep being God's light to shine in this dark world. Hey, listen, I'll accept the job. I will. Thank you so much for that. So listen, guys, I hope I didn't miss anyone. If I did, listen, welcome. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you all, and listen, thank y'all for letting me know about the echo. Sometimes I don't know things, but y'all are on it. So thank you for that. So listen, I hope y'all were able to hear everything that Aaron said, and I want to get your take on it, but I'm going to tell you what I think for just a little bit, and we're going to go from that. He started out by saying, there's no longer a need for each other. And I think earlier on in that video, I said that, there used to be a need for each other. And I agree with that. There used to be a need. Now, in modern day, is there no more a need for, or does a woman no longer need a man? Does a man no longer need a woman? These are all questions I'm asking. I'm not telling y'all exactly what I think, but I'm asking these questions. Is there no more a need for a woman or a man? Let's see. I think, Tia, thank you so much. But listen, I think that there is. Because I know value. I see value in my husband. I feel as though I need him. I know today's modern woman may be like, well, look, I got a career. I can go pay somebody. But guess what? You paid somebody, but it was a man that showed up. So still, isn't that a need for a man? I always say this. that I don't do anything that's over my head. I tell my husband, I ain't doing nothing over my head. All right. I'm not. But I need him for the balance that he gives. I need him for the logic that he brings. I've said this several times. My husband could be the calmest person in the room. I'd be going crazy. Get him. What did they do? What? No. He'd be like, I understand. We're going to get our stuff and we're going to go. I'd be like, you wrong. You did it wrong. I know you were wrong. It has to be exactly right for me. But for him, he's like, if I can get out of this situation, I'm good. And that's what he does. And that's what he brings. That's another thing that he brings. I'm not even talking about the protection. I am not even. Yeah, the protection is come on, girls. Come on, ladies. Come on, females. Whatever you want to be called today. I want to call you all ladies, but we already know we all ain't ladies. But the protection, I'm going to tell you again. If I'm out walking, y'all don't know, I love to walk. I go about 3.5 to 4 miles. I like to do like 3 or 4 times a week. That's what I do. I'm a walker. When I'm out there, I have never come across anything, right? But I always tell to myself, if the dog get loose, I'm looking for a man and expecting a man to get that dog away from me. Now, I'm not telling y'all that Mr. Boss hasn't already prepared me for this, but I might not be ready to do what he wants me to do. But I want a man there that will do something. Now, if we walking out here and we all bad to the bone and the dog, I'm not running, because we got to have dominion over this situation. So I'm not running, but I want a man there to take care of it. And I don't think we think of, women, I don't know if we thinking about this, but ladies, I know y'all got it. But women, I need y'all to understand the men have a purpose in our lives. We were put here purposely. So I get what Aaron is saying. And in today's modern times, that's probably what our thought process is. We don't need a man because we have careers and we have money. And if the man's not willing to go 50-50, now look, I have no idea what 50-50 really is. So I'm going to need y'all to help me with that too. What is 50-50? I hope that ain't the bill come in the door and it's $150 and you got to pay 75 and I pay 75 also. I hope that's not what 50-50 is, but I need someone to explain today's modern day 50-50 because I'm not doing that either. If my husband found me and I'm his wife, he's responsible for more than I am, but I have my roles I play. Understand this. Understand, I do exactly what is needed to be done. Now, before I get started really, really good and we get into this and I bring y'all all into this, make sure y'all giving us a thumbs up as you come into the live. And I appreciate you on this gorgeous Friday. Gorgeous Friday. So anyway, we're going to keep going. So y'all hold all these, don't hold them, but I love these comments. But I'm into talking to you all right now. Pound for pound, exactly, SB. What part was that you enjoyed? But anyway, we'll talk about it later. I want y'all to come up when we drop the link. But I'm going to continue to tell y'all. Again, ladies, the ladies know. I want to be a woman. I want to be a woman. I want to be the lady. I want to be taken care of. I want the doors open. I don't want the dirty hands. I don't want to do everything. I don't want to be responsible for everything. So when y'all say 50-50, I don't know what that means. A 50-50 is a roommate. That's something you did with your girls when you were 19 and 20 when you moved out your mom's house, or something you did in college when you was trying to get that degree with the roommate. That's a roommate situation. But 50-50 in a modern day marriage, I really don't know what that means. So I would love to have some sort of explanation or just I want somebody to define that with me who's actually doing it and it's working. Because guess what? Whatever you all bring to your marriage, if that's what worked for you, I'm not knocking it, guys. I am not knocking it at all. I'm just saying to you, if it's working, it's okay. But if you all not making those seamless transitions from one part of your relationship to another, then there may be some things that need to be tweaked. And I could maybe just suggest something, but I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying, because all y'all already know, me and Mr. Boss, I was 25, he was 30. We put the money in one pot, but guess what though? It was not a lot of money. I agree. And we build. And I am still looking for people to build. But I understand now that we all think if we already got some money, there's really nothing to build. But see, I don't see it like that. But anyway, he also talked about the women are making their own money, so they don't have to put up with a lot of things. And this is where it gets real funny for me, guys. This gets funny for me because I'm a little bit in agreement I'm a little bit in agreement of this. So this is where it gets real funny for me. Hold on though. There's a comment here. It says, so a man is an optional extra or sort of inconvenience to a career. I don't understand your comment, but hey, you laughed out loud at it. I guess I should be laughing too. Listen, we're gonna talk about it, gracious eightness. So listeners, listen, we're gonna talk about all of it. But women, they're making their own money. They are. And he mentioned that y'all all know that granddaddy or daddy had the other wife or the other family across town where he had all those other kids, and mama was our grandma. She didn't have no money because she didn't have her own, so she just stayed. She didn't go. So that was deep for me, because I've mentioned and told you all, several of you all, and if y'all been into my lives, y'all know that that was my situation. That is my situation per se. That was my father. You know, had a family over there across town. You know, we had 6 kids by one woman that was not my mom, right? Did my mom know? Who knows? I just found out. I'm not gonna say I just found out. It was just admitted to me after my mom passed away. So that stuff goes on too. And I'm gonna tell you something, ladies. I don't know. That's not something you know what? I'm in agreement with the women now. I'm almost gonna tell y'all. So I'm gonna lose my mind for just a minute, because y'all know I'm married for life, right? But if I made my own money, which I do, but I don't know how. I don't think my husband can have a whole family on the other side of town and that be okay, y'all. So I'm kind of in agreement with him on that. You don't need that in your life, and that man, it would require a better man. So that kind of brings me to the poll question we had today, but we're not going to go there yet. And then basically what we're saying, what the women are saying is, listen, I don't need you anymore because I have my own money. I can take care of myself. But it's deeper than that. Men are not a utility. You're not supposed to just need a man for sex and his money. Although in today's modern times, everything is about money. We're leading with money. It's about how much money you got, the bag, the this and that. There's no organic emotion behind it. There's no foundation to the relationship. So let me just say this, guys, just in case you didn't know, marriage has not changed. Marriage, the institution of marriage has not changed. The foundation of a marriage has not changed. The people that are involved in it, you're the ones that are changing. And he also said something about, well, we don't want to listen to them older people because they, we don't want to go back. We want to go do it different. I'm just telling you what works, what has worked, because the marriage concept itself it hasn't changed. And even back then, or wherever you're talking about, Aaron, it's still what you make it. And if you're not interested in having a good relationship, a good marriage relationship with somebody, it won't be good. But trust me, it's not about your money. And it's not about the fact that you don't need the person, because you do. Because even if you call the man to come and get the rat, excuse me, let me say it differently. Even if you call the exterminator and the person that shows up will be a man, I doubt that a woman's going to show up to get the rat at your house. I don't think so. And it's not going to be a woman to come and seal the leak on your roof. No. So guess what? We need men, whether you got one of your own, or you calling and paying somebody to come and take care of the situation. So we do need men. So that is just not true. That's not a good attitude to have. And men, you want legacies, you want children, you want somebody to carry on your name. So you need a woman. So let's stop. I'm saying we just acting out when we say we don't need each other, because we do. I can't imagine a place where there are all men. Can y'all imagine a place where there are all men? And I can't imagine a place where there are all women either. So let's just kind of, put that to the side. But it does bring me to the poll question. I think the poll question is, women are wanting to renegotiate relationships. So since they're willing to renegotiate the relationships, what are the reasons why they're doing it? Do they want a better man? That was one of the poll questions. It's for the money, or is it for control and power? I want to hear from you all what you think. I think the control and power actually was what actually won out, the control and power. Is my mic doing that same stuff? Bro man, thank you for that. Not bro man, that was black man. Thank you. I think control and power is the one that won out. So Y'all got to explain this to me because I'm not understanding exactly what it is control and power. But for me, I think if women are trying to renegotiate the relationship, it would be because we want better men. But I'm gonna let y'all figure. Y'all, I want y'all to tell me about it. So I'm gonna drop the link in just a little bit, and we're gonna continue to talk about this because I have some other things I want to add to it. But I do think that the women of past did actually um, endure some things that would equal to a man not being a good husband. But I definitely see the men of today are not those men. They're not. Black man says again, if you negotiate with the unproven modern woman, you conform to disaster. You're right, but I don't know exactly. Oh, well, I mean, you know what? Let's set a standard for this. Let's set a standard because we already know that we're in modern times, so everything that we do has somewhat of some modern touch to it, right? So we need to figure out what woman we're talking about. Listen, guys, I'm not talking about women that are not wives. I don't want to talk about the honorary woman that want to fight you, that want to cuss you out, that want to try to belittle you in the street, that thinks she can beat you up. I'm not talking about that woman. She is not a wife. That is a red flag. I'm not even talking about the woman that approaches you and says you how much money you make or just speaks to you that way. I'm not talking. Those are red flags. I'm not talking about that woman. I'm talking about the woman that may have the career but still wants to be married, but has taken care of herself for the last 10 years as an adult woman, as a single adult woman. How do you approach that? And then men, I need for you all to define for me what is now traditional. What is it that you want traditionally from a woman? Because their whole comeback is you're not hunting anymore. You're not changing any tires. Y'all know what they're saying. Y'all calling AAA just like she calling AAA. Y'all, some men, y'all cooking just like some of y'all love to cook. Y'all chefs that like she will cook. So the roles are being mixed up, guys. People are doing and adjusting and doing things what works for them in their homes, which I have no problem with because for me, I have to adapt to my husband. But if they're saying to you, listen, I want you in my life, but I want to renegotiate. And I don't know if a woman would say this or not. I'm just pulling this from what Aaron has said. Y'all heard him say it. And Aaron, I hope you are somewhere listening. You can't be here today, but I hope you're listening. But thank you for the topic. But anyway, now, black man, I'm not even wanting you to negotiate with the woman that shouldn't be a wife or a woman that is not ready to be a wife. Don't even look at her. Be dismissive of that woman. I'm telling you that them type of people get you in trouble. You're right. It's a disaster. But I am really talking about the woman who you have met, not you particularly, but a woman that wants to be married, but we don't know everything, but we're living in a different time. Like I just outlined that time for you. The woman of yesteryear, that was the woman who was traditional, that stayed at home and she didn't have a job maybe, or she was the housekeeper, or she worked in the laundry at the hospital, or she didn't have a lot of money. She couldn't take care of the kids of her own. So she stayed while her husband had a family across town. Women don't want that anymore. They don't want it anymore. So now they have their own money. A lot of them saying, I'll share my own money with you, but to an extent. But see, men, I need for you all to say, no, this is forever, but this is how it needs to be. But if they're willing to negotiate, let's speak. I mean, are you willing to do that? I don't know. I'm married. Yeah, I've been married a long time. I'm just saying, if women are coming to you because they're not willing to be 50-50 or they want to be 50-50, I think a man should shut them down and say, no, baby, we're not 50-50. I'm not your equal. I'm here to protect you. See, these are the things I don't think women are hearing. I don't think it's been communicated to women that that's your purpose. You're not there for just to have sex and to produce a baby and to give them money. That's not your purpose. Well, excuse me. That is some of your purpose, but that's not the extent of a good man. You have so much more to offer. You are there for so many more reasons. And I don't think this has been communicated because, like I say, in yesteryears, women stayed because they did not have the money to do so. They didn't have the money to leave, and they put up with a lot of behavior that may not be, good for a man or may not be good for them. And I'm just saying, I don't think that man is no longer. I'm just telling you what they've learned from the trauma that has been brought over from those women, their grandmothers and their mothers. So now we're doing something different. Now, Aaron call it negotiations. I don't know, I'm just saying conversations to see where these women are. Are you all willing to have these hard conversations with them? Because guess what? The roles are no longer like they're gonna come back at you automatically, y'all. Y'all not hunting anymore. Y'all not even changing tires. Some of you won't even mow grass. They're gonna say these things to you. What do you got? What are you? Men. What are you all saying back to them? So anyway, we have quite a bit more individuals in here right now. So what I'm going to do, and then we're going to open up the lines. The link is going to be in the chat. And guys, thank you guys for coming in. When you're coming into the live, make sure you give us a thumbs up. And when the video is done, the link is going to be in the chat also. I need you all, men and women. I do have some women here now. Bella, I think I saw you come in. Tia, I saw you come in. Brittany B, I'm seeing that you're here. Elena, I need all of y'all to come up. I know some of Emmanuel. I know some of you all are moderate. Excuse me, Emmanuel, you're not a man. But hello, Emmanuel. Excuse me, you're not a woman, Emmanuel, because I was going to group you with this conversation while speaking. So forgive me for that. Ladies, I need you all to come up and represent the modern woman. And I know I'm going to have men to come up all the time. But Emmanuel, hello. But y'all make sure you give me the thumbs up. I'm going to play this video again and pay attention to what Aaron is saying. I want to know what you think about it. Here it goes.
Oh, I want, because listen, I posited this viewpoint a while back ago. Mm-hmm. We got away from the needing of each other because women don't want to do 50-50 with a man anymore. For whatever the case is, they have that right? Mm-hmm. And they make their own money. Mm-hmm. So before they would tell you, they would say your grandmother stayed with your granddaddy, even though he had a family across town. I don't know if y'all familiar with that, but most people are. Right? But they had to stay with him because they couldn't. They needed him, right? But now we make our own money, and that's why we don't stay, right? Mm-hmm. So what happened is money has been injected in the conversation, which is causing a bigger divide amongst relationships because the need to stay is gone. It's only want. And since we have converted from a need to a wants-based thing, you see how people act when you don't need someone. You discard. So when you break it down like that, this is how I present day, right? Because I don't believe that we can revert to the past and go back. I believe once we go to a future, only thing it does is continues to evolve. That's why you hear young people say, "Oh, old person, you off, man. It's a new age out here." They keep telling the old folks, no, just do it this way. This is what I know. And young people say, no. You're seeing a conversion in dating. You're seeing a conversion in relationships. So what does that mean? Women have made money. So they come to the table and they said, I want to renegotiate the contracts of relationships. Mm-hmm. So no longer are the men going to be the way the man used to be. That means if you cheat, I ain't staying. I ain't got to listen. This money gives me power. Mm-hmm. And that confuses women because money gives men power. It gives women the ability to sustain, but it doesn't give them power over men. So there's a confusion there because a man will tell you quickly. Men have actually showed they don't really care. They'll lead. Look, they do you dirty. You can have more money. You can pay for their housing. You can be a hobo sex. Men don't care. Money is not enough to purchase a man. It's very difficult to do.
Right.
Sadly, women are purchased. Whether you like the way I said it or not, sadly, that's just how it is. So what you're seeing, in my opinion, is a women coming to the table saying we want to renegotiate the relationship of how it's laid out, and you'll see the struggle because men don't want to budge, and women are saying, "Well, with this damn money, I'll be single because y'all gonna change," and that's all.
It again. Listen, we're gonna drop the link in the chat, and I want to know what y'all think about it. Women, are we purchased? Now, I joke around with this all the time. I say it all the time. I'm definitely an asset. My husband purchased me, got papers and everything. And guess what? You don't throw away your assets. You take care of your assets and you don't burn them. You don't give away your assets. You just watch it grow. And every year it gets more and more important and it has more and more value. So for a man to tell you, I bought you, girl, I think that could be somewhat considered a compliment. So ladies, I want to hear what you think. So anyway, we're dropping the link, and anybody that wants to come up, if y'all have an opportunity to do so, come up and let me hear what you have to say. Listen, guys, when you're coming into the live, I need for you to give me the thumbs up. We're just speaking today on, are y'all men ready to renegotiate the contracts on relationships? Because marriage hasn't changed, but are we willing to renegotiate contracts on relationship? Mr. Steele, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing fine, and you?
Doing good. Now, listen, I didn't hear the little squeaky voice. Did you work it out?
I guess it worked itself out. I don't know. I've actually forgotten all about it.
You know what? I look for little things just to see how consistent. Like, is it us or is it electronics? But how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing fine.
Good, good. What do you think about this? Are you willing to renegotiate contracts with a woman?
Well, it depends on, what you are willing to compromise. What are you willing to sacrifice? I said before that, the very moment you get into a relationship, well, you've already negotiated anyway, because, you're hearing what the woman says, she's hearing what I say, she's hearing what I'm about, I'm hearing what she's about. And, you already think about what sacrifices you're about to make. Now then, you have the situation where, a woman's working, or what have you, or what have you. There are certain things I may negotiate. There are certain things I may not. For one thing, my masculine duties, I'm not going to sacrifice those. I will not do that. But one thing I wanted to say is, if both of us, let's say go to work, right? Having long hours or what have you. Yeah, it's bringing in revenue, but it's really taking away time and energy that we need, for each other, as far as the nurturing and, loving or anything. And, to me, that's not a sacrifice worth making.
So would you approach her maybe? Now, I'm assuming that you already married. Are we still in a relationship, or have you all been are you married at this point?
Oh, no.
No, I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, if we're married. Yeah.
So if you're married, would you approach your wife and say, listen, I would prefer if you stop working so much. I'm in a position to take care of us. And I really would have you here just to devote more time to the relationship. Would you actually make that request of her, or what?
I probably would, but I have to be very careful about how I express it.
Okay.
To her, because I want her to understand that, look, we want to make sure we have time, for each other, the time to nurture each other or anything, that we don't, she doesn't be too tired to, do, whatever her duties are. I'm willing to help her with some of them, if I have to. I just wanted to I wanted her, to be clear on this. So yeah, I have to be careful.
So are you, now listen, I'm going out on a limb. I don't know anything about you, but you present yourself as a really good man, a faithful man, a loyal man. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying if you were married, I don't think a woman would have a problem with you cheating or having the family across town. But what do you know about 50-50 in a marriage relationship? Or in a relationship, 50-50. Do you know anything about that?
The only thing that I could guess about 50-50 is, again, the sharing of responsibility of, sharing income. I think that's really all I look at it.
Would that be something you entertain far as finances go?
Again, it depends on the situation. Because, as a man, I'm supposed to be really, taking care of, all the things. But, if she wants to dig in and maybe contribute, I mean, that's fine, just as long as it doesn't take, energy, or time away from us, for what we're doing.
Would that be something that you yourself would decide as the man? You would decide or set that standard of what that looks like? Would you be the person to do that?
Basically, but I'm also a type of person who has to listen to what she
Right.
has to say before making that decision.
Okay. So that doesn't sound like it's a bad agreement. I mean, so in other words, you have prepared yourself mentally for a modern woman, because they want to come in and negotiate everything, where in the days ago it was basically women had to kind of go for whatever the man said, because they didn't have the finances or the careers or the emotional intelligence to say, I'm gone, I'm gonna leave. They didn't have all that, or they feared it. They feared to live alone or whatever. They found that the man was necessary. As in now you're saying, I need this woman to want me, so I am going to work with her a little bit more than maybe if you were a man of, my daddy or my granddaddy, so.
Right. Yeah, I'm willing to work a little bit, with her.
Okay.
But just as long as she understands, what it really is to be a wife.
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a given. I wouldn't want you to be with anyone else but someone that is a wife.
Mhm.
I don't wish a bad woman on any good man ever, ever. So that sounds good. So listen, thank you for that. I'm going to bring up another caller, but do you have any parting words you want to add before I let you go?
Not that I could think of.
All right, we'll continue to listen, and if something else comes to your mind, definitely come up again, and then we'll just go over it at that time.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, black man, are you there? Uh-oh. Black man? Black man, are you there? Well, anyway, listen, I wanted to say this, Mr. Vaughn Bryant, listen, we are being very literal when we
I'm
talk
here.
about purchase. Oh, hold on for 1 minute, black man. When I say we both are, followers of Christ. God is, and it's all on the godly principles, but it's just a joke when we say, my husband has always said to me, you mine, I haven't bought you. It's just something that we say. So it's not so, but I understand what you're saying also. Thank you for that. Okay, black man, what you got to add to this, sir? Would you be in negotiations, considering that you're married? I don't know if I should be asking you this question, but what do you think about this? Are
I
women?
think I consider it for my son, I guess. I think that if we're gonna start the negotiations,
Mm-hmm.
we need to redo the whole thing. I think that I think it's gonna be a lot of work, because you need to redo the vows, because the vows will not be the same after a negotiation, right? The contract won't be the same.
Wait a minute. Hold on for a
Uh,
minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. The marriage didn't change. Remember, I said that marriage doesn't change. So you tell me, when you said we got to do it all over, you tell me what about marriage has changed. If the women are saying, men, I need you to negotiate with me, what about marriage changed?
well, I was thinking because I was thinking I was starting at the vetting process. So
Okay.
if they're vetting this young lady or this woman to marry her,
Right.
if they're vetting her, they have to change everything.
Okay. Tell me. I want to know. I mean,
Because
say what it is.
all right, right. So she comes in, she says, "Hey, listen, like even now, the vows, how the vows used to say love, honor, obey, whatever, and they took that out. Like a lot of weddings you go to, the women not even putting that in there no more. Like that's not even a part of it anymore, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah. If
So
you're coming up with your own vows, you're right. It wouldn't be right.
So the contract will be voided. You can't do those vows anymore if we're sitting at a table negotiating what it is for you to maintain to be a wife, and the vows are saying that you're going to be there for me regardless of these things.
Well,
So now you want to.
what if you didn't negotiate your vows? What if your vows were the vows that they are, but you're negotiating the relationship that you have? Hey, Sir Hill. But you negotiating the relationship as well. Let me tell you what he said, because I don't think the marriage changes. I don't think the marriage should ever change. But he says women are not willing to go 50-50 anymore. Again, do you understand what 50-50 means, black man? I need you to explain to me, because you always help me out with this stuff.
Yeah, 50-50 is basically saying I'm going to give, because I believe in 100-100. But
Right.
50-50 basically means I'm going to give you half of me, and the other half of me, I'm going to do what I want to do.
Oh, And this has come across, and is this really the attitude of the modern woman? They're gonna do what they want to do.
Absolutely. I need to
Oh,
have I need to have times because I watched the platform today, and I'll send it to you today. It may be something that you may want to use on your show because you're speaking on this.
okay.
But there was a lady today that says she's 50-50 married, and she said when she goes on her girls trips. Oh no, it was on the talk show that just got canceled. Thank God. That they were talking about it on the Real. She said that when they go on girls trips, whether you're married or not, if you and your girlfriends go, whatever happens on the trip stays on the trip. So if you see your married girlfriend, flirting with a dude or going back to a hotel with a dude, all of the women have a pact on those trips where they don't tell nothing. They just allow things to happen.
Ooh.
Right? Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Oh yeah, because you know what? I had no idea 50-50 meant that. I thought it was.
No, it could be that. It could be that. It could be 50. It could be that. It could be I want to go out and do things I want to do. You need to be more understanding. If I want to go to Aruba with my girls for 7 days, you need to understand. If I want to go somewhere with my single friends, you need to understand that I have feelings and I have things I want to do that don't require you.
Okay, so then I would think that, okay, so listen, I'm going to say two things. If a woman came to me, if I was a man, and a woman came to me and she expressed her wanting to be married to me, and that was what she would be bringing to the table as a 50-50, I would say this was a red flag woman, and this woman was not a wife. I would not marry this woman. This is just my thoughts. If she came to me with this, if that's what she said, I'm going to do what I want to do and all that stuff you just mentioned, this would be not a wife. I thought it meant more of within the confounds of the marriage. You cook sometime, I cook sometime. I pay 50% of the bills. You pay. That's what I thought it meant. But you just shed a different light on it. I would say that woman right there may not be a wife. That's somebody that is still holding on to a single life and who is a single-minded person. And remember, I always say this, a single-minded person does not need to be in a marriage relationship. Miss Creative says, what's wrong with going on vacation? Miss Creative, there is nothing wrong going on vacation. So I'm not sure exactly what you're speaking of. You talking about that single girl vacation? We'll talk about it. I would love for you to come up and ask those questions because we just get an understanding of what
and you know what
negotiations could be. Yes, sir.
Right. And you know what, security boss?
Yes.
I think we should, you know what? So, because I see a lot of people in the comments saying that, that they're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm working right now, so I really can't really dive into it. However, I will say this. I think we need to do a show on that.
Okay.
I think we need to do married women on single trips.
We're together on Monday. We can continue this on.
Yeah, married women on single trips. I think we should do that on one of our Mondays. That'd be great.
So let me say this to Miss Creative because maybe I can help her out a little bit. I'm a married woman. I've been married a long time. You already know that, Miss Creative. And I don't do single girl trips. I don't go anywhere away from my husband more than 2 days. I don't even do. The only time I will go with a group of women is when we have the marriage retreat, not marriage retreat, but the married women retreats from the church. I don't get away from my husband. I'm always going towards my marriage, trying to build on that. So I think that's what Black Man was mentioning as far as single women trips. And then when you get on these girlfriend trips, it's what you do in Vegas stays in Vegas. I'm married. My whole mindset is married. I can't think outside of my husband. So anything I do, whether I'm in his face or outside of his face, is total consideration of him. So that's just how I kind of maintain my thing. So listen, Black Man, we're not gonna get you in trouble. So go ahead and say a couple more things, and I'll talk to you later. You know I will, and we could put this together. We can continue this show on Monday, and you can add to what you're saying. Oh, he left. I'm sorry about that. So hello, Mr. Salam. How are you, sir?
Can you hear me, ma'am?
I hear you perfectly. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing fine. Thank you, security boss, for allowing me to be on your show. I was married 48 years to a beautiful Black sister, and I took care of her the last 5 years of her life. She died of cancer.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
I took care of, yes. I'll do it again with wife number 2.
Okay.
I'm 70 years old now, and I'm looking for another sister to marry, and that's what I want to do. I'm looking for Mrs. Right, and I want to be Mr. Right for her. I hope she's a sister like you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm gonna have to.
My wife, she looked similar to you. She was a beautiful black color, and I loved her with all my heart and soul.
Wow.
And
So what do you think about what's going on now in today's modern society when we're having so much of
well,
a
I'm in a dating thing now. It's very hard. A lot of gold diggers out there. Um, a lot of women are scrutinizing me on the type of house I have, the old car that I have. Yeah, it's pretty bad. And here I am. I'm out here for black women only, and it's hard getting someone interested in me. And I haven't ran across Mrs. Right as of yet. My wife told me if she ever passed away, don't live the rest of your life alone. Find another sister, love her the way you love me. That was 7 years before she came down with cancer, and I told her, "You're not going nowhere. You're going to be with me for a long, long time." Well, she died of cancer, and I
wow.
took care of her.
So what are you
So
doing
I
to
know what it's like
you
to
said
be married.
I'm sorry. You said how long were you married? You said 40 years?
48 years.
48 years. Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
So
1972 to 2000. Let's see, August 15th, 2020. Yeah,
wow.
2020.
So listen,
Year and a half ago.
what are you doing as far as dating? You said you're on this dating scene now. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm online. I have Salam Allah Alternative Channel, and I did join Black senior groups and things like that. And I'm trying to meet Mrs. Right. I met somebody, but I call her. She never calls me. I mean, she doesn't hardly ever call me. That kind of thing. And when I call her, she's happy to hear from me. But I just wish it was more. That's all.
Well, you
And
know what,
I
Mr. Listen, Mr. Bryant is inspiring me. He says I need to do a I choose you for seniors. He might be right for that.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
y'all
happy to join
participate.
that.
Yeah. Now listen, I think I've talked to you before. Did you tell me you would date a woman that's around what 45? You said up to 40. You would go to 45, right?
Late
45?
40s, all the way to through her 70s. My
Oh,
age.
okay.
I
Okay.
want somebody that was born in the United States that came over in the hulls of slave ships with me. A black woman from the United States of North America.
Okay.
And I will protect her. I will put her in my house. I'll even cook for her if I have to.
Oh, so you listen, you a modern, aren't you? You becoming a modern man yourself. How about that?
Well, I don't know what modern man means, my dearly
Right.
beloved sister, but you know,
It
it
really
would be
means
nice.
it really doesn't mean a whole lot. It's just that in your marriage, your wife adapted to whatever it was that needed to be done, and you all worked together. That's what it
We
is.
worked together for 48 years. We put our money together, and then we had separate credit cards. That was the only thing we did separately. Everything else we did together. We had business meetings. We worked together. Sometimes I cooked for her. She would cook for me, depending on her work schedule. I looked out for her. She told me she wished that I was her first husband. She was married ahead of me to a
Wow.
no good man, but
Wow.
she met me. And then she gave me the last 48 years of her life, security boss. And I will always love her.
So did
And
you all have any children?
no, she had a total hysterectomy, and I had a child by a sister that I met before that was very abusive, physically and mentally. And my son, I and her, he's now 50. He's married to a beautiful black sister, and they've been married for 20 years.
Wow.
And they're going to move to Phoenix, Arizona from Texas so that I can have closer access to them, because that's the family that I have.
Right.
So I just thought I'd come in and tell you that I'm looking for a new black wife, and that's what I want.
I
And
appreciate
she's my age.
Okay. So listen, I thank you so much for coming up. I remember you the last time, and keep watching. And then, you're welcome to
I
come
will.
up and say hello. And listen, if I do decide to do a senior, I choose you, I'm definitely going to be reaching out to you.
Thank you. I'd love to do the senior program. I love you, black woman. I love what you're talking about. Thank you so much. You're very beautiful. I
Thank
know
you.
your husband is very happy with you.
I hope so.
I was happy who I was with.
All right.
Bye bye.
Have a good evening. Bye bye. Mel and Bella. Mel, how you doing?
I'm all right, man. Yo, Mr. Allah is my man right there. I like him, man.
So, Mel, I saw you over in the comments talk about negotiate. What do you mean?
Yo, man, we ain't negotiating, man.
Y'all ain't changing your mind.
I don't
Okay, so where we gonna live? Y'all gonna be out there on the tractor mowing the grass and stuff, putting the lines in the yard.
Yo, I'm more into traditionalism, man. More and more now. So ain't no negotiating with me. Like this is how I am. This is how I want to run my structure, and I guarantee you'll be happy with that structure and everything. And
All
if you
right.
don't want to live with that structure, then I'm not the man for you.
I understand that. So, Mel, can you help me out? Now, the 50-50, you were here when Black Man was talking, right?
Yeah, that's why I jumped up and everything. Yeah.
So that 50-50 can you give me your definition for the 50-50?
Well, most likely, it had really something to do most percent of the time with money and
Okay.
also the say-so of the household. and stuff,
Okay.
but mostly on the money part.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
there's some men that's willing to do that 50-50 also too. And some of them are from, like I said, I grew up in the project hoods myself and everything too. So most men around those side of the tracks are willing to do the 50-50 thing with females and stuff like that. And technically, we kind of already know those type of men why they want the 50-50 also too. And stuff like,
Okay.
yeah. So it's like they have this thing with if she ain't putting in nothing, she ain't she's useless. Like they want benefits of a traditional woman, but they still want her to put in money in the household and everything and stuff.
Okay.
Maybe understandable to some degree because depending what city you live in and stuff like that, you had no choice but to have two-parent households until either you decide to move to another state that's you can make the same amount but it's less expensive. It's less expensive with the expenses and everything. But
Okay.
that's mostly has something to do with mostly money and stuff like that. So I had a debate with my cousin about this matter and everything. He got a misconstrued of thinking that if one puts in her 50, you put in your 50, you still have a say so, and y'all break up, y'all leave an equal amount. And I'm like, you don't understand the laws like that. Period. Like
No, somebody has to make a decision. Somebody has to come to the end and say yes, where
exactly.
it goes. All right,
And
Mel. Thank you so much for that. So, Mel, let me ask you a question. Did you see the Daily Wrap Up crew on the show on Wednesday? I was hoping you pop up. I didn't see you.
Nah. I was at work. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
How it went.
It was good. It was good. I mentioned your name, but I didn't see you, so I was just wondering if you took a look at it or whatever.
Oh,
But
I'm gonna check out the replay definitely.
all right. Thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna go ahead and go to Bella, but I'm gonna say, hey, Kosher, how you doing?
Hey.
All right. Thank you, Mel. Kosher clinician, how are you at work and office and working? How about that? So listen, thank you for being here, Kosher. Kosher says if you ain't traditional, you ain't happening. I get it. All right, Miss Bella, how you doing today? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Go back down and come back up. So anyway, you know what? That was good, guys. That was good. But nowadays I'm getting some mixed messages on this 50-50. I always thought it was finances, but if we're talking about your mindset is halfway single and halfway married, then I got some Thank you, Savannah. Natasha, listen, why you guys won't just scam up and scam likely? Thank you for being here. I saw you too. But yeah, listen, we can't, either we're married or we're not. You don't bring a single person's mindset into a marriage. And if it's 50-50 in your mind, like I said, is half single and half married, I would think that's a red flag, young man. That's not what you want. You want somebody that wants to be married, but that don't know everything. And you want somebody that's willing to work with you and you're still going to be the head. I don't know exactly what you're calling it, but that is not what you want. We're not just, I'm gonna do what I want to do. That's not a woman that wants to be married. A woman that wants to be married wants to feed into her husband and to her family and wants that to grow. And that's the most important part for her at that time. Once she says, I do, if she's still trying to promote her own agenda within a marriage, that's not good, because you're not single anymore. Ladies, you can stay single. You don't, like you're saying, if you really that modern, you have that mindset of you don't need a man, you can chase the rat. You can shoot the dog. You can get bit by the dog, anything, all of it. You can get on top of the roof and fix it, whatever. But if you're calling a man, I heard the craziest thing the other day. I'm not going to even talk about it right now. But anyway, I'm just trying to say, if you want a man, value the man, embrace the man, marry him if he asks. You're not going to know everything. Women, we don't. And we can adapt to the men that we have. If we've been taking care of ourselves for many years as a single woman, I can understand that it may be definitely a big transition to become married, but the husband is still your leader. He's still valuable. He's there for a purpose. And why not, accept that purpose for him and not try to belittle him in any way or take him off his square? You can fit in and still be a great asset. You definitely can. But again, this is me talking about the marriage that I feel that has not changed. And black men, we're going to continue to talk a bit about this, because I would advise you all not to allow someone to change the concept of marriage. If you're changing the concept of marriage going in, you're going to get what you get. You're going to be like Will and Jada, open marriage. What kind of expectation do we have from an open marriage? Absolutely none. If we do, we're kidding ourselves. So I'm not changing the concept of marriage. Marriage is marriage. Now, what we do once we get in the marriage is totally up to the relationship. I mean, the people that are in the relationship. And, if 50-50 means paying half, Emmanuel, you said no negotiation. You've already negotiated, Emmanuel. Come on. You already have. I mean, but I love it. You've already have. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think. You married a traditional woman. You did. So you did good. So it can be done. There are traditional women out there. We got one that's coming up in a minute, Miss Bella. So I hope you can get your sound together so we can speak to you. But there's nothing wrong with a woman that doesn't know everything, right? I'm telling y'all, I wasn't a quote traditional woman. I had a child coming into my marriage. Y'all, I've been telling y'all that. But I feel like I'm an excellent wife to my husband. 27 years, getting ready to be 27 years in November later. Again, but I was my husband's second wife. He didn't know everything either. He messed up and had to get it right. We had to get it right. It had to be blessed. So, understand what's going on. But I do want to know what this looks like. If the women are saying, I hope they're not saying, can we negotiate? But either way, whatever it is they're saying, I think what the outcome is I want a good man. I don't want the man of yesteryears that had the family across town with all the kids that cheated on me or that cheated on my mom, that brought the trauma to the relationship. I don't want that. I want some sort of protection, but I need to know that it's you. What day in November is your anniversary? The 14th, November the 14th. I got married on a Wednesday. Wasn't that special? On a Wednesday, just woke up that morning and said, we got to do this today. Listen, we were so damn convicted. We didn't know what to do. Yeah, I'm telling you the truth, God. God was going to get us because we was wrong all day, the whole day. But listen, that was then. This is now. But anyway, I'm just saying, guys, this is a topic that we need to talk about because I know a lot of women, young women, and guess what, black men, I'm just going to let y'all know, black men, I'm giving you credit for this, and I will always do this. Brittany B said, I got married on a Monday. I know, Brittany, it just happened to you. Don't just come all over and you just go do it. How about that? Listen, I'm gonna go back to my statement, but I want to say thank you to Mr. Eugene Steele for his $20 super chat. And he says, I wanted to add that if my wife wants to work, it has to be something she's passionate about. Oh, I like that. You know what? That would give her so much self-gratification. I want to protect her aspirations. Do not want to make her feel that she has to work to take care of me. I already got that covered. That's what I'm talking about. This is a husband speaking right here. And you get the money line song for all that.
I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline. Money line. I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline.
Yeah. Listen, you know you in love when you get married on a weekday. You right, Savannah. I ain't even need no white dress. It wouldn't have been white anyway. You know, I was thinking about getting married in a black dress. But anyway, that's another day. That's another day. But we did. It was on a Wednesday. And the only reason why we told anybody is because you had to have 2 witnesses. But that's what we did. And it was organic. 26 years later, you don't need all that extra. I'm telling you, girls, you just need that man that loves you and that is willing to work with you. And I'm telling you, that's just how it is. But Bella is back and we're going to bring her up. Oh, I'm going to get back. Black man, I love you. You help me stay on track. So let me tell you about the standard. We're going to do this. Bella's coming up in just a moment, but Black man gave me an idea of the standard. I don't know how it came about. We were just talking and he said he had an idea about the standard. And it was, I think he said it was women. I'm not sure about that part. But anyway, Black man, I have taken it. You have blessed me with it and we are running. And the standard will be here in May. It's going to be an awesome show. The standard is just what it says it is. It's going to be a group of individuals that is the standard. And we're going to be talking about positive things and struggles on being that way, but we want more people to be the standards. We want to give this a face, because all we got is negativity now, and you just kind of floating around. But we're gonna do it with intention. So the standard are the young people that come with intentions, and the standard is not going to stop, but it's starting in May, right? And I already got my panel. And they're going to be talking to us and they're going to be telling us their struggles. They're going to be telling us how and what they deal with on a daily. It's going to be excellent, y'all. It's called the standard. So y'all listen, I choose you and the standard going to be going along at the same time, but there's more to come on it. It's more to come. But Black man, thank you so much for that, because it's necessary. Because we always talk about how we don't have examples. This is the real life examples for our next generation. These young folks I'm talking to, guys, these are young folks. And remember, when you're coming into the live, give me the thumbs up. But before we go any further, we're going to do Luke Casely. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat. And she says, the Sheba dog rolling on the floor, laughing out loud. What part are you laughing at? The Wednesday, the black dress, or the God gonna get us? It was all wrong. It really was. But you know, that it was organic. It was just that way. And I appreciate you so much for being here. And listen, I do and would love to have you as a guest, on my show. And I will talk to you about it soon. But guys, we got a lot going on over here at SB Nation. I appreciate you all for being here. You know, your comments, everything. Make sure you give us a thumbs up when you come in. Candid Ann, thank you so much for being here. We're glad to see you. It's just, you know, you ready for the money line. So let's give it to Luke Case. Luke Case, I need to see you moving your shoulders. Bella.
I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline. Money line. I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline.
Yeah. All right, we're going to bring Bella on up here and we're going to talk to Bella. Can you hear me? I still can't hear you. I don't know what's going on. No, I can't. I can't hear you. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm gonna drop you back down. Continue to work on it. I would love for you to talk to us a little bit today, and I want to hear how excited you are about I Choose You, because I've been throwing you hints all week. I can't hear you. Go back down and come up. I don't know. Oh, someone suggested you take off your headset, Bella. Maybe that's it. I'm not sure. I don't know about that kind of stuff, y'all. But anyway, listen, the standard is going to tell you, because this is something that happens every time I have a show and I talk to you all about some of the things that I've done in my mindset and everything. When I'm relaying it to the modern day, the younger people, it always seems so extreme to them. They be like, oh my God, you know, how could you have done that? And, you know, where's that coming? So I'm supposed to just do that. And, you know, and I'm just here to tell you guys, I did what I did in my 20s too, but I fastly realized that it wasn't right. Fastly realized it. I was like, I'm in the wrong place. And I was able to get out of that. I'm saying to you all, you can do it too, but you have to change your mindset. You can't live in two places, right? So the things that I share with you are me now. It's not that I didn't do any crazy things when I was 29. I try to share that with you too. I did crazy things back then. I did. Well, wait a minute. I can't say that. Not that crazy. But anyway, I did my share of wrongness, right? Of things I shouldn't have been a part of. That's all I'm trying to say. So I understand you all from that point of view. But when I'm giving you another way to think, this is genuine and it's real. Of course, you don't have to accept it. But I decided when I was 25, actually at 24, I wanted to live easy. I wanted an easy life. I didn't want to live hard. You know, I didn't want to take the walk of shame. I didn't want to have 5 baby daddies. I didn't want to be broke. I didn't want any of that. I didn't want to be scared or afraid of, having things being out of control, just being out of control. I wanted to be in control or intentional about my life a lot more than I was being. So I changed my mindset, and I'm not going to say I changed it. The Lord changed my mindset and renewed some things in my life. And that's my walk. Now, again, I'm sharing this information with you because this is something now that I know. If you're not there, I get it. But guess what? I shared it. And it's I'm just like Bolo tells me all the time, sister, all you can do is plant the seeds. And that's what I'm doing. I'm planting the seeds. Somebody else might have to water it, but it's true. It can be done. That's why we're doing the standard. And when you see these young folks on the standard, you're going to understand what I'm saying. Now, you can choose to pick at them and say, oh, kind of crazy stuff. Oh, they're capping, they're doing this and they're doing that if you like, or you can heed what they're saying and know how comfortable and cool and easy their life is. Because when we bring in other individuals into our life and we add in sex and all that different stuff, your life all of a sudden gets very difficult. So I'm just going to leave y'all with that. Bella.
Hello.
I can hear you. Yay. We did it. Now we're going to have to get all that fixed between now and Friday.
Yeah, right. I don't know what that was.
I'm going to need you there. How you doing? Uh-oh. She froze. Say it again.
What happened?
I can't, you're blanking out. I don't know what's going on, Bella. You usually have no problems with your Wi-Fi. I don't know if it's your headphones or what. I can't hear you. Yo, I don't know what's going on with Bella right now. We normally have no problem hearing everything she says. We on late night and we can hear everything she says. So we're going to let her get that straight. But anyway, that's why I'm sharing these things with you, because I decided I wanted to live easy. And Brittany, you're right. Hey, take the sin out of it. You're right. Do as much as you possibly can. Much as you possibly can to live easy. And that's all I want. And that's the gist of the reason why I share things. Because I do know it's possible. I can see a very vast difference in me being 20 and then me deciding to live a certain way, almost night and day. So that's why I share these things with you. So I'm not capping when I say certain things. When I tell you my husband and I put all our money in one pot, we put all our money in one pot. You know why we did that? Because we were tired of bouncing checks when we got married. It was a simple concept.
Dearly beloved,
we had more money together. It was a very real thing, very real. When I also said to you all that in the beginning of our relationship, we had to build a foundation, my husband and I together. So we kept people out for 5 years. Very real thing. We did it. So again, this is not to put all of things that I do onto you. I'm just giving you a different thought process, and you could take it or you can leave it. But you know what? If you got something you going that is working for you, then that's good. But check it though. Make sure it's actually working, because I'm happy. I have what I need right now. I have a good husband that is very attentive. He's right here all the time. If this camera comes on, he's the one who turned it on. I have a business here, unsolicited, and I have a business that's a real business. And y'all know that we work together. He's my bestie. So these things I just suggest to you, because a lot of times we have problems because we don't want to sacrifice anything. And I found out very early on that you have to sacrifice to be in a marriage relationship. So pound for pound, thank you so much for your $10 super chats. And he says, you are absolutely correct, SB. The marriage arrangement hasn't changed. It's the modern society rearranging or trying to evolve that is. With this disastrous results. Absolutely. But guess what? How come they don't see they're not winning? I can see it crystal clear. But see, this is the thing. And I need women to fall back a little bit, guys. We don't have to win. I mean, I'm gonna tell you how we win. We win when our husband puts us in a place that we want, where he takes care of us. You know, he gives us the house. He gives us the vehicles. We have the children. We have the business. We win when we know we've been taken care of. We win when we know we're covered. We win when we know that we're protected. That's winning for us. We don't win when we have to have the last word. Actually, I don't even got to talk. You know, if the bill's paid, I could be quiet. So I'm saying to women, listen, I've been seeing some displays of some lack of, I don't know how I want to say this. I need some more ladies on YouTube. Because ladies, we do not have to win. We can let these men have it. You know what? I can be right all day, every day. Okay. But if my husband is not hearing me, or it has not yet, he don't get it in the moment, I might have to give him 24 to 48 hours before he understands it. But when he does get it, he'll come back and be like, baby, you're right. So not that we're wrong. It's just that they don't understand it or can't receive it at that moment. So just back up, ladies, just relax, you know, and they'll get it, because right is right. Truth is truth. Ain't nothing else you can do with it. Truth is truth. But pound for pound, get the money line song.
Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline.
Yeah. So listen, guys, if you're coming into the live, make sure you're giving us a thumbs up. I don't see the numbers right now, but right now it says it's about 70 plus watching, so I should have 100 likes. How about them numbers? What y'all think about that? That's just how I calculate. So whatever y'all think, I'm with y'all too. But anyway, that's all I'm trying to say. Listen, Natasha says, listen, I know SB hubby loves her. These camera highlights her flawless skin. He said we're going to see it properly. You're right, Natasha. My husband loves this stuff. And one day you all may get to meet him. But yeah, he loves this stuff. Again, if a camera is on, he pushed the button. I promise you. So who do we have here? Is this E-Man? I can't see. Hey, E-Man, we're gonna on up. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. What do you have? You listen, E-Man, you say you're not negotiating. What do you mean, sir?
So I think. Can you hear me now?
I can. It's just your camera, but you're fine. Oh, there you go. You're back.
So I personally think it should be no negotiation. I think we should put the terms of our contract, what we bring to the table, what we're looking for, and it's almost like it's kind of like I just don't think it should be any negotiation. I think that's the problem, is that everybody think that they can say something at the table, but that's my opinion.
And now you are picking a totally traditional woman, then, though, right?
Yeah, like I think you got to be able to.
You already have. It's kind of, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but you got to. When I say it's no negotiation, I can't ask my wife to pay half the bills, but then tell her she don't have no say so on how we do things. Like I really believe that the reason I can say that it's no negotiation is because I have to do my part of the deal. See, when we write these contracts in marriage, because I think marriage is a contract, the man must hold his part of the contract, just like the woman have to hold hers. We can't say, men, you're not have to honor the contract that you put down on paper. So I think the honor have to come from both sides, and that's why I created a space where my wife doesn't have to work. So we don't even have to talk about her portion, because I'm doing my portion. If that makes sense.
Oh no, it makes 100%. I mean, I believe everything you say, and I feel like when you're dealing with a woman that is traditional, there is no need for negotiations. But this particular topic that Aaron was talking about was basically talking about modern women who might have careers, you know, who are a little older, maybe have been working and taking care of themselves as adults and things of that nature. So if you meet, and this is hard to talk to you because you've already settled and you're married. But if you met a woman who was a doctor or whomever, has been working and taking care of herself for some years, and now you want to marry her, and she's like, I'll pay 50-50 of the bills or whatever. I'll do this, I'll do that. What are your feelings? And that's what he meant about women that are negotiating. Because the honest truth, E-Man, no woman wants a man that has a family across town with several kids. No woman wants a man that is a known cheater. I understand and I hear all the time how high value men have these types of options and they can do what they want. But I still don't think that no money can buy my happiness. I would still be gone. I don't care how much money you got. I don't want that for my husband. It's not good for who I am. I don't think it's good for your self-esteem. I don't think it's good for anything. But I understand that men who have a lot of money may have those options, but I just come from
I think the point when I'm saying no negotiation. So one thing that I was not willing to negotiate when I have kids, I wanted my wife to be in the house.
Right.
And my wife my wife was in the medical field when I seen her. So
Okay.
she had to be willing to give up her career if we was talking about having kids and getting married. If she would have said, no, I'm not willing to do that. I'm going to hire a nanny or we're going to send our kids to that. That's what I mean, no negotiation. This
Okay.
is the type of lifestyle that I want to provide for my kids. And this is what we're going to do. And if she says, nah, I'm not really into that. I want to do another options. Thank you for your time. And you should move on to someone who's trying to get on your page. Now, I'm talking about entering into a marriage, right? Now, once you get into a marriage, now we're working together. So now we both need to be on the same page. She have a say so. So I don't want to use the word negotiation, but we need to come to terms inside the marriage. But entering into the marriage, I think that line should be completely drawn. But once you get into the marriage, your wife have a voice just like you have a voice, but you make the final decision if that makes sense.
No, that makes absolute sense. And I agree with you. But again, you're speaking of a traditional woman. And a traditional woman would be the one that understood that concept of you taking care of everything and her not needing to have a career and her needing to be at home to homeschool the kids or to take care or to have the babies or whatever. That would be a traditional woman. So I agree. I agree with everything you said. I guess my life is somewhat like you just described too. If my husband would have said that, I'd been like, yeah, I'll stay at home. I don't have no problem with it. I don't think I would have been married to a career of whatever because I was a younger woman though. But what he's saying is that nowadays, women, they're getting married older. I mean, which I think women should get married younger, but sometimes the opportunity is not there. But like I said, the older you get, the more you have to determine what are you willing to sacrifice to be married. So I understand what you're saying too, though. I agree. Yep. So, all right. Thank you, E-Man. We'll see. Listen, E-Man, don't forget, you got to be there next Friday at 9:15. You ready?
For what? Oh yeah, I don't. When you say I had to be there, I'm be watching. I ain't gonna be there. I'll be in the comments.
I got you. All right, thanks, E-Man.
Bye.
Bye. Miss Bella, I think I can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Is everything okay?
Everything is okay.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. Y'all know I don't have a man, so my Wi-Fi acts up sometimes.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay, so wait a minute.
Maybe
it got to do with the Wi-Fi.
Because you know what? I think someone made a comment, and this came from a Lapeef show. Mr. Logic made a comment on the Lapeef network. Kayla's Wi-Fi was like messing up, so Logic was like, well, it's messing up because you don't have a man. Because a man wouldn't allow you to have messed up Wi-Fi. So okay, I'm just going with it.
Listen, I'm going to go with it too. You know what? Come and think about it. My husband do take care of all that. So yeah. You something to it. So listen, are you getting excited or what?
I'm so excited for next Friday, guys. Security Boss hasn't told me anything. I don't know who the contestants are. I don't know who the judges are. So I'm going to be just as surprised as you guys. I'm very excited.
I told you a little bit. I said NFL. I said,
yeah, I'm like NFL. That's
interesting. Meaning he plays for we got a player from the NFL. We got an entertainer. And I didn't tell you who he's entertainer for. I'm just trying not to tell you everything, but no matter what, you're going to see some faces this week because we're going to do a ad and their faces are going to be there. So you'll see some faces, but we're just going to call them Bachelor 1, Bachelor 2, and Bachelor 3. You're not going to know any names. You're just going to see now if you recognize them, then you recognize them. But I'm trying not to give out any information because I want you to be surprised. So, but they know
I'm
you.
excited.
Is that fun? They know you.
Oh, that's
It's,
so fun.
I was like, is that, but yeah, it's gonna be fun, and we're gonna get everybody excited and involved, and you gonna have a good time. So very much so. So listen, Akia, how are you?
On. Can you
Am
hear
I
me?
saying your name right? Listen, if you don't know, if it's your first time here, security box has trouble seeing this little small writing sometimes, so you can correct
No,
me.
my name is unusual, so you don't have to worry
Okay.
about
How do
that.
you pronounce it?
It's Aika.
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 Good. Okay, I'm glad you're here. So listen, Bella, did you want to add something to this 50-50 thing, or what do you think? Because I know, Bella, you say you're more traditional. So does this even apply to you at all?
So I mean, I have an opinion on it. I think the 50-50 thing, and I think I agree with the gentleman. I think his name was Emil. 50-50 doesn't mean just money. It's 50-50 everything, like responsibility, leadership, things like that. And I think when you put a woman in a position to lead and to give direction and guidance, like it just doesn't work. Like she just ends up emasculating you. So that's why I don't think that it will work. Because as soon as you give a woman some sort of power over you, she's gonna throw it in your face. Oh, I did this, I did that, I did this. Like I don't think that women should have any sort of that type of leadership leverage in a relationship, in a marriage, especially. But then
Right.
again, it's also some men that, they may need help in that leadership role and decision making role because women can make good decisions. So in some instances, that 50-50 thing can work if the man isn't up to par.
Well, what you're saying, because that's a little different, because what you're saying is the head, who is the man, the leader, knows who he is, and he's humble enough to come to his wife or whatever and say, listen, I need help in this area. I know you're better in this area than I. But he's still delegating that responsibility. That's still him being in control. Not in control, but that's still him being a leader. That's that's the head leader. The head leader can actually say who's best at doing certain things. And if you have a man that's humble enough to say, I don't know everything, you actually got a real good man. Real good. real good, actually. Instead of doing something and messing it up, knowing full well that whatever you say, you could be an accountant, you could be a lawyer, you could have skills in everything, but him going out here messing up the money versus using you who's here for him, that would be to me, that's dumb. That's not a good leader. Just my opinion. So, all right.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying women can't have insight because I think women can have insight and knowledge, but when you're totally dependent upon her for direction and guidance in most situations or in some situations, I think that puts you in a position where you will be emasculated.
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, that would be leaning to the wrong woman, though. That anytime a woman would try to emasculate or emasculate her husband, that's the wrong woman. That's something else. That's
Well, I
more,
think that's sorry.
No,
Women don't do that on Women don't do that on purpose, though. But security laws, we're spiritual women. We know that in Genesis, it says that the woman will try to overtake her husband. Like that's just something that happens, and the man will rule over her. But men are not ruling over women like that. So it's natural. I think it's natural for a woman to kind of want to kind of overtake a man a little bit, but the guy got to put her in her place.
that is not natural. There's something there. There's something else there, is what I'm saying. It's not him delegating that position to her that did that. There was something else there. In other words, that means she hasn't submitted to Christ, who is the head of the family. Therefore, she hasn't submitted to her husband. If she has that much of a rebellious spirit to the point she can't fall in place. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? She still has to fall in line. If she, because she's fighting something more than that job or that position that he's given her.
It could be related to pride, because I think
it's got to be something else. Yeah, pride.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Because I've been married about 4 years, and that's not a long time in terms of marriages. That's fine. But from what I've learned so far, like the times that I've reacted, like talked to my husband, maybe wanting to listen to him versus wanting to have things my own way, or thinking we should do something certain way because I thought it was right. I was being more prideful than I was about really trying to solve whatever situation that we were dealing with, right? So when I think about like maybe like women wanting to like control men, or maybe being somewhat like resistant to submission, I think sometimes it's related to pride. I think it's sometimes related to fear, because I had those things. I was afraid to submit to my husband to a certain degree because I thought I would lose all control over myself, right? So when I think 50-50, when people talk about 50-50, maybe some women might go at it with the mindset that they want to preserve themselves in some way, and they don't understand like what it means to fully trust or submit to your spouse. Does that make sense? Like,
Aka, that was perfect. That's exactly what it is. It's definitely fear, but again, it goes back to submission, and it could almost go all the way back to not feeling the love that is supposed to be given. Does that make sense, guys? I kind of took it all the way back, but women have to be loved. We have to understand and know. Well, let's say this. I'm gonna base it on me. My marriage was built on godly foundations. That's where my principles come from God. So I have to. That's my job to be within this marriage. My covenant was made to God. So this is what makes me do the things I'm supposed to do. If you don't have that, I don't know what guides you. You know, if you don't have those principles, I don't know what will make you be a good wife, or what would make you submit. I don't know. You know, some people just are moral, you know, very moral. You know, if your morals make you, you know, do what you're, you know, are in line to do, then that's good. But if they don't, I would think it'd be very difficult to understand submission, and submitting your will, your complete mindset to an individual, thinking that he's going to take care of you and not turn on you, you know. So that is a difficult thing. And I could see where fear would be the most important thing, because it's like what we've been taught, what we've seen, you know, trauma from your mama, your grandma, you know, that man cheated on her, he put her out, he did this, they don't have no money now he going with the next one. That brings a lot of fear. And then you have what else did you mention? You said fear, and you said pride, was it?
Yeah. Because I know for me, that's were the two that I think I struggle with the most, with submitting to my husband. Actually, turning into your shows helped me like submit more, which was like why I love your content. That's why I'm on here. You know, it's the first time I've ever done anything like this. So
you're right, it is.
I'm so
let
nervous.
me read this comment. Let's read this comment. Pound for Pound says maybe SB needs biblically defined submission, because submission isn't what modern women think it is. Maybe we're going to hear about that. But I think wait before we do that, Candidate, how are you? Thank you for coming up.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. That was good.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
So yeah, I can see now the pride thing is something that I think we've been seeing here in latter years, like on the YouTube platforms a lot. And I see that more so when women don't want to just let it go. We want the last word. That is definitely ego and pride. That's a lot of ego and pride. Now, I've been asking myself why that is. I don't know the basis of what that is. I mean, we might need to do some Bible searching to figure that part out, because I don't know where that part comes from. Because sometimes you should just get tired and be like, okay, you know, because men are logical, women are emotional. So we could be right and correct in our thought process and our thinking and what we're doing. But if the man doesn't hear us and is not accepting of what we're saying, that's just what it is. Sometimes they need 24 to 48 hours to process it, and then they can come back and say, yeah, you were right. But if I'm back and forth with him, his pride is definitely going to be much stronger and rise up more so than mine, because he's the man. So it makes us look not good. So I see the pride in that area, if that's what you're talking about, Aka. But you know, I don't really know what that's about. And it could be something just, you know, I don't know. Maybe that is a modern time thing, because of we do have our own money now. We do have our own careers. We're making our own decisions, and you can't tell me this and you can't tell me that. I don't really know. I'm open for you all to let me know what that's about nowadays. Candid Ann, do you have anything to add to that particular section? And then you can also add whatever you wanted to say.
Yeah, I think I might I might get roasted in the comment section tonight. Because I come from a different school of thought. And so I realize I'm on a panel in which you are Christian based. And so I respect that. Just speaking about the money and leadership and stuff like that, my husband, like I've said many times before, he's not a religious person. I'm Christian. He's not. He's still the man in this house, right? In terms of traditional marriage and submission, I'm not submitting. Okay, I'm not submitting. Maybe people might have a problem with that, but we have harmony in here. There's no arguing in here. I have never once been married for 18 years, together with this man for 24 years, 25, since 2004. I can't count, right? But whatever the years are, I've never once called this man out of his name. I've never spoken to him ill. I've never said anything ever, other than his name or a term of endearment. And so, the dynamics of this relationship here, I want people to know that just because you don't fall under the umbrella of possible Christianity or whatever your religious beliefs are, men should still be respected. Just because I say that I don't submit, right? And I'm not always sure that I understand, because depending on who you're talking to, submission can mean something different. So maybe I do if I'm talking to one person and talking to someone else, it might not mean the exact same thing, depending on what your religious beliefs are. I am going to go to work. I do have my separate bank account. I'm not changing that. I will not submit to a joint bank account, period, point blank, ever, right? But everything's out in the open. Everything. I don't hide anything. He has his own bank account. I have my own bank account, and we have shared bills. For most of my relationship, he made most of the money. Last 2 years, I made most of the money. He's still the man in here. He still gets respect in here. He still takes out the garbage. Nothing changed. He's still the man. So, I'm just here to offer a different perspective. I'm not saying that like one thing is right and one thing is wrong. I'm just here to say that there are other people out there that have respectful, loving, caring relationships, and it doesn't fall under the same umbrella. I'm not sure that I'm using the right words here, but we have respectful, loving relationships, and it's not as traditional as some of you guys might think it probably should be, but it's still loving. It's still awesome. It's still harmonious. It's still respectful. Like I said, I have never once ever in 20 something years called that man anything outside of his name, and he's never done the same to me. There's respect in here.
So let me just say something to you. You mentioned that you were a Christian and he was not religious, but for me, I think you have submitted. You have definitely adapted to his way of running your household. You've adapted to exactly what he's wanted.
If that's if that's what you believe, no problem. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you don't. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that I don't worry about the word. I just live my life. So
that's what you said, though. I think
okay. If that's how you feel about what I said, no problem. I'll accept it.
Okay, well, so that's no different. That's no different than what we do. That's no different. Okay. I adapt to what my husband wants me to do, whatever it is. If my husband needed me to mow the grass because he hurt his foot, then I have to mow the grass. So that's not. I don't know. When you say traditional, I mean,
I'm keeping that separate bank account though.
Well, the reason why we did my husband and I did the one account because we was both broke, and it made no sense to put $10 in one account and $8 in another account, and both had a bad check. You put your money in one pot, and you have more money together, and you learn how to budget. And that was just us becoming one. We were 25 and 30. So that's why we did it. If you don't need to do it, some people come into relationships rich. It all depends on what needs to be done. But the basis of being traditional is the man is the leader, and he's the one that makes the final decision, and he's very much valued. And that's what you just said.
Valued. Yeah, he's definitely valued. Absolutely valued.
So, I mean, you actually said that. So the way it's conducted, or the things that matter, the way you handle the situations within the marriage doesn't really, I mean, I can tell you some things that happened to us and this is how we did it, but you may not have those issues. That may never come up. So for me, I feel like you did adapt to your husband, and you all are working together, and that is a form. I think that's submission. Now, what a submission is, it is you giving up your will. Your will is not what's more important. you and him need to work together, and that would became what was most important. Now, within that, did y'all have some agreements? Absolutely, y'all have agreements, and that's what it is. So I don't see how that's any different. But when people label things tradition, I guess you in your mind you might think, oh, I wash dishes every day, and
Yeah, I was thinking more about E-Man situation.
okay, see, yeah, I
Something
don't,
like that. I was
yeah,
I was just thinking about something along the lines of, you're gonna stay home, raise the
I got you.
children, things like
Okay,
that. That's what I was more thinking of.
okay,
Yeah.
I don't
And I
know.
work. I don't have children and I work,
Yeah,
right?
so
But
that
it
would be
doesn't matter if I make $1 or if I make over 6 figures. It doesn't matter. I'm the woman, I'm the female, he's the man. That
right.
does not change. He's respected despite if he makes $10 or all the money. He's the man. So when we talk about, for me, when I understand this whole traditional thing, it usually falls on the under the umbrella that men are the providers, and that's great. That's great if they are, but if they're not, they still are owed respect, according to me. For me.
Well, from what you just explained to me, it sounds as though you still have fallen under your husband's covering. He is a provider, but you've adapted to the way he wants to run his household. That's what it sounds like to me.
Okay.
It may not look completely like mine, but
Right.
it works for you all. So I
Yeah.
don't think I have the. But listen, Big Judah is here. But before I do that, somebody told me I need to remember. I forgot and I didn't say it, but I do want to congratulate Aka on her 4 years of marriage. I
Yay.
know.
Congratulations.
I know it's not easy, but listen here, we're here to give you whatever it is you need to keep pushing through. So whatever you need. So congratulations for today. And I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. So Rick Judah, how you doing?
Miss Secure.
Oh, go ahead, Bella. No, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that we also can't assume that every man wants submission from a woman or from his wife. So that's also, that.
I don't know about that. I've never heard of that in my life.
I don't think every man can. I think ideally most men would want it, but ideally, most men are not great leaders, not great decision makers. So you can't assume that they want submission when they know they're probably not suited for a submissive woman.
So you're saying they're not ready to be married then? The two can't be together. You can't ask a woman to. No, listen, the two can't be together. You can't ask a woman to. I mean, you can, but the reality of it is, you shouldn't be asking a woman to marry you. What you're saying is, I'm taking on you, wife, to do this, this, and this, but I ain't got it together. You can just come be with me. That's not what a man wants, because that's just chaos. That's not going to work.
Well, yeah, I know, but we're in modern times, so it's also modern men.
So you're saying this modern men, what are they doing though? Are they saying I want to? Yeah, I get it. And some of them, I mean, Sway is here now. Sway says men understand how important it is to have a wife. So a lot of them are not even saying they want to take that on now because they're not ready. Now, are you saying that modern men are taking that on even though they're not ready? And then what?
I don't even think some of them even know that they are not ready. I just think they just used to certain relationships, certain behavior traits of women. They were used to a woman being raised with a single mother, a domineering woman sometimes, and they don't know what a submissive woman looks like. So how are they all of a sudden going to say, "Oh, I want a submissive woman. Oh, I'm a leader of the household. I'm going to guide her." Like, no.
I mean, when that's the case, then I need some men to be doing some work. I mean, I can't control what the men do, but that's darn near unacceptable.
I mean, I agree, but I also
go ahead, Rick. Rick Judah, you on that? You tell us about you. She's saying these men got to grow up. I don't know.
That sounds like a homosexual relationship, man. When you got a man that's gonna let his woman just be equal or above him, that's a homosexual relationship. They're partners.
That's so disrespectful. Wow.
No, listen, no, I'm being honest. Listen, because again, that man just wants a blow up dog. He's not really looking. He don't know what a wife looks like. And okay, you said men don't want submissive women. That's not a man wants a woman to be under his power and his control. Only reason that man allows these women to do these things because these men, they're not on that level to really be a husband. Like you said, they're not ready to be a husband. The only reason they allow it because that's all I can get. If they could get a woman that they really wanted, a quality woman, they would not get a woman that's gonna act like that. I mean, and I'm pretty sure Sway can in some way understand what I'm talking about.
I'm trying to first understand what Bella's talking about, and then we're gonna excuse the
Don't bring me into this, man.
I said homosexual relationship. I was saying
yeah,
that
I don't understand that part.
when I said homosexual relationship, you're talking about people that are partners or equals.
Oh, okay.
I get what the sentiment.
You confused me for a moment.
Yeah, no, I wasn't saying literally homosexual. I'm saying like a man is like, oh, okay.
I got it. I got the equivalent now. I understand now. Two other partnership versus a marriage. I understood now. Now I do. I didn't at first, but I got it now. But I don't know, Sway. If you can, I mean, I heard Sway last week when he said that men know it's a very serious thing, and they often like say, no, I don't want this yet. But Bella, when you say that men don't even know they are willing to take on women and they don't want submission, that right there kind of I've never heard of that. I would think a man would always want a woman. I mean, so they're going to be just two people in a house going back and forth and never getting anything done, or what? How does that?
I mean, but let's be honest though, like being a leader of the household, being a husband, being the priest of a household, that's a big responsibility and that's a lot of work.
I agree.
So we can't assume that every man can handle that or that every man wants that. It's hard to do that. I mean, I'm not a man, but I could imagine that that's a hard job. And we can't assume that every guy wants to fulfill that.
He shouldn't have a woman. No. He ain't fit.
I mean, I agree with you.
Here's the thing. Most men are getting looked over anyway. That's the main problem. Most men don't really chase after women like that. They waiting for the woman to come to them. But unfortunately, they get looked over so much. Large percentage of women recycle the same small percentage of men. So the large percentage of them are in the friend zone, getting looked over, getting used for free dates and everything. Most of these men want to be in relationships, but they get looked over too much.
Okay, so let's take a break right here. Natasha Vincent says we're gonna insert a money line break. And thank you so much for your $14.99. Let's do that. Everybody know what to do, right? Rick Judah, you know what to do. Candy Ann, you know what to do, don't you? Gotta move those shoulders. Come on, you gotta lighten it up. Just move the shoulders a little bit. Let's keep it light. Go ahead and get the money line. Oh. All right, Rick. Money. Look at Sway move his head. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline. Yeah. All right, Natasha, thank you so much for that. You know we needed that, girl. We needed it. But,
actually, I apologize. I have to go. But
okay. All right, listen, thank you so much for being here, and you are welcome to come back.
Bye-bye. Well, I wanted to finish this up real quick. Also,
sure.
Said, most men get looked over and stuff like that. Most of them want to be in a relationship, even in their early 20s, but they get looked over so much. And they get so much with pressure coming on from the women because most of these women now, they get influenced by their single mothers or their single grandmothers, aunties, friends, best friends, social media, or what they think a relationship should be. So they overthrown that burden with certain dudes so much that even when you see how now, like, so many females keep trying to use the Russell Wilson, Ciara narrative and everything. The reason why they push back on that is because most percentage of females actually came across a Russell Wilson type more than twice in their lifetime and stuff. But yet they want this perfect Superman type of dude and everything and failed to realize it's not going to happen that way. Some of y'all is not going to get that 100% perfect guy like that. But if you putting all that burden so much on a man like that to do what he wants to do, in the relationship, he'll crack. He'll crack. It's like Patrice O'Neal's old saying: a happy man is a happy relationship. A happy woman is a miserable relationship.
I don't know who he is, but I don't know if we should be repeating what he say. But listen, Mr. Awesome, thank you so much for your $2 super chat. Mr. Awesome, you are so smart. He says homogeneous is the term you're looking for, Rick. So we're gonna have to remember that. He's so smart. He is so smart. So hello, Celine. I don't know how we did that, but anyway, so getting back, Bella, let me say this, and Sway, I want you to add something to this. What you're saying, Bella, is not all men have it together, right? And I agree with you, not all men have it together, but I really think they recognize them where they are. And I do also think that they know what their role is, whether they're there or not. So if he decides to take on a wife and he's not in that position, or he hasn't been on his purpose, he will have a difficult time going into that marriage, and it may not work. And I think that does happen. Like I said, I'm my husband's second wife, so it happens. So for whatever reason, whether it would have been her or him, it didn't work. And I think that does happen a lot of times when men, sometimes when individuals marry too young, things like that may happen or whatever. So I guess in some way you're right, but I do think they understand and know what their purpose is, though, as men. I don't want to say that they don't know. I just think sometimes they don't know how difficult it is. And sometimes that's actually what I said to Sway, is that I don't think they understand how difficult that role is. And so I agree with you with that part. Sway, did you want to add something right now at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you that the odds when they're young and they they don't, quote unquote, I guess, know what they got into, or they didn't really expect it, that happens. I think that happens more often now because young people are kind of drawn into the left liberal 50-50, we're all equal, feminism movement. So you might see those cases happen now more often, especially with younger people. They're not really grew up and groomed in a traditional home, especially even by society standards. So, but I still think that even men who are growing up, young men who've been married, older men, they still understand the responsibility of marrying a woman. Now, when they get into it, how they handle it, I mean, I think they understand all that comes with it, but they just couldn't handle it in the moment. So, or they didn't work out with the girl, whatever the case may be. There's all types of variables for why a marriage ends. But I'm just saying, most men understand the consequences and understand the role of what comes with a marriage. Young cats, that might be a little bit different because of the narrative, but I think for the majority of men, they understand.
So listen, Sir Hill Speaks. Y'all listen, go over to Sir Hill Speaks and subscribe to his channel. He makes me think, and I always say this about him, he makes me think. But he has a comment here. He says, for a young marriage, it's important to remember that a 25-year-old man won't think like a 45-year-old man. Men and women have to grow into their respective roles. I agree totally. I always say that me at 25 is not the woman that I am now, but I can share those experiences with someone else, and they don't have to go through all those roadblocks that I had to go through. I say that all the time. And I think people that have been married for a while should always try to share those things with young people coming into this. And so I totally agree with you.
I just wanted to add on it really quick. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I missed you, but I see you now. Go ahead, Celine.
Oh, okay.
She's only coming through one ear set.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, but I hear you. Go ahead.
All right.
Can y'all hear her? Barely.
Yeah, I can hear her.
Go ahead, Celine.
No, I don't.
We don't hear you now at all. Oh. Okay. Okay, Rick, did you want to add to what you were saying a moment ago? I saw your I want you to say what you put in the comment section.
Oh, as far as like those men aren't fit for husbands and all that. Yeah, I mean, basically it goes down to the fact that these I ain't gonna say these women shouldn't choose, because I don't believe women should choose their husbands anyway. I think they're out of order even running around choosing a man. I think a man should be vetted by a man over them, but that's another thing. But these men that are too weak to even step into the role to be like and basically enforce submission. I ain't saying enforce it like physical force, but demand, hey, I'm over you, I'm your leader, I'm your Lord, your God. That's what I'm going to be. I'm the one you're going to submit to and believe and listen to my direction.
You never said that.
Huh?
You never said that.
Hold on. Oh, yes, I have. So
you told a girl, I'm your Lord.
Lord,
you will be a
believer.
Hold on. I've been married 10 years. So
I'm asking you, did you say this verbatim to your wife, that I'm your Lord, I'm your God?
Hold on, no, listen, I'm telling you, my wife was here. She went out to go get some shoes. I tell her step on the camera and say,
out.
I said those things.
You might not believe it, but some dudes do
just
that.
Sorry, can I cuss, security boss?
You feel like cussing? Is that bad?
Bring it up.
I'm just joking. Rick Judas is not black, so I can do that.
Oh, I didn't say you ain't black. I ain't say that.
Because I got a white dad, I ain't black. I don't want to hear that.
I didn't say. Oh, you said you had. Hold on. Well, that's
Yeah,
another.
yeah, exactly.
Wait, we
Okay,
ain't
no.
thinking none of that. Sway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some
Going
of
in
that,
a totally different direction. I don't know what y'all talking about. Can we bring
Yeah, I
it
don't know what
right
you're talking
back to
about.
what's going on
Oh,
right now? Because y'all lost me on that one. Matter of fact, I tell you what, Celine, how are you?
I am good. Can you hear me now?
I can't. Go ahead and say what you have to say. How you been though?
I am good. I've just been working a lot, so it's kind of hard to,
Participate.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
I hope everybody here is doing well, though. Happy Friday, by the way.
It is. It's a good one.
I know it's so nice out. It's getting nicer out with the weather, and it's just really great. But as far as I think most men know what they were created to do. I think as far as women though, and I've listened to a lot of like sermons and stuff on it by pastors about like men and women's roles and what the woman was created to do essentially in a marriage. And it's a very simple thing. I think it's simple because it's very clear cut as far as like, the woman is supposed to be like the nurturer and motherly and basically like a helper, like a helpmeet, right?
Right.
And it seems almost like now a lot of women, like they just don't care about it. And it's I think the problem is we're conditioned as women to think a certain way.
So who did the conditioning? Who did the conditioning?
I think like the school system does it.
So you're saying we're becoming more liberal?
Yeah. As far as
our roles.
Like,
let me ask you a question. What do you think about this 50-50? Are you married? Let me ask that first. You're not married, right? Okay.
Mm-mm.
So what do you think about 50-50 going into a marriage relationship?
I really don't know. I think it should be like maybe 70-30 in a realistic thing, because if a woman has to work, she can't take care of the kids. Like, if a woman's working full time and the man's working full time, it's kind of hard. It's like, what about the kids? You know what I mean? It's a little different when you're not, when you don't have kids, but when you do, I think it changes the whole ball game as far as that goes.
So you're not married right now, but you're a young woman. Would you consider yourself a modern woman or traditional woman?
I'm somewhere in the middle. Just as far, I understand that a lot of women are, I don't think it's much for me because I grew up in a 2-parent home. I became a believer on my own, but I think that had a big like impact on me in how I reacted to things like feminism, because I saw that, like that's, I think the worst thing, at least for me, with feminism isn't necessarily even the women working. I mean, that's not even my big concern thing because I have a part-time job.
Okay.
But I think it's really messed up, like the promiscuity thing.
Yeah.
I think that's my biggest concern. I know there's, of course, other factors that go into it, but I think it's really made it almost impossible to, like, control a young woman nowadays. Like, I think a lot of young women, as a believer, I've developed the discipline in that way, but I think a lot of times, like, they really, they just do what they want without any, a lot of them too. I mean, obviously I know everybody has a different opinion on it, but as far as just
so let me say this to you, Celine. You are right about the feminist movement, and it is a very powerful movement, and it's a lot of influence that comes with it. But listen, you can recognize what's going on here. It's real, but you don't have to accept it for your life. You know, say this is going on, because I can tell you this. If you look at some women now, there are a lot of them that are very broken and upset that they did accept the feminist movement into their life. And they are saying, wow, especially with having sex, being so liberal with their sexual partners. And they're very upset now.
I mean, no monogamy, never mind marriage. I mean, that's right out the, but even just a monogamous relationship that's long term. I mean,
they're very saddened by that. So you don't have to go that route. So even though those influences are out there, you continue to have that discipline that you have. And I hope and pray you get the man that you're looking for. And it's not, don't let anybody tell you that it's a negative.
Right. Yeah.
That's what
I remember when I was 18, around 18 or like 17, 18, 19 years old, I found really awesome preaching, right? And it basically enlightened my whole life about how I see things. Because even me, believe it or not, when I was in high school, just to fit in, because I mean, it's normal to want to fit in and stuff like that in school, it's like you want friends, you know what I mean? So you want to fit in, but it took me a while to get out of that brainwashing that they told me, because even when I was really young, I wanted that family. I wanted to be that housewife, right? But they, these girls, and I was like, so I'm not as impressionable now, but at like that, 15 or 16, I was like, they really changed, and they kind of manipulated the way I thought. And it took me a while to get out of that thinking, even though I knew it was wrong.
Okay, so listen, Candy Dan, do you have anything you wanted to add to what she's saying about the film? And Sir Hill, you're exactly right. It was that third and fourth wave that actually just knocked everybody off their feet. You're right. 1 and 2, we wanted to vote. You're right, very necessary. But that third,
it was the second wave that was planted the seeds, and then
in
the
70s.
That third wave is really what took it over, Mel. It really was. But she's a young woman. So, that influence became much. She probably wasn't even born. Celine, I don't know anything about you, but probably not until the late 80s.
I was born in 2000.
Oh, you're gonna make me cut. So, yeah. Okay, so she was. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord.
So I was the first generation.
She knows nothing about this. So she's about the Me Too movement all completely.
No. Definitely. Yeah, well, I know what that is.
I mean, you were born in that. I'm saying born in that era versus the first, second,
and social media. I mean, I don't know a world without phones.
Wow. So, Candy, do you want to say anything? Considering we're talking about this, I'm not going to give much place and time to that movement, but I just want to tell you, just continue to be disciplined and stay on your path. Don't allow those things that are in the world to you don't have to do it. We live here, but you don't got to be a part of it. How about that?
Right.
But did you want to add anything, Candy, to that?
What I was going to say was really in regards to Mr. Rick Judah.
Okay, so because I want to go to him too. Before you do that, so Celine, thank you so much for being here. And Bella, I know you did you drop off? But Celine, thank you so much for being here. And we're gonna continue to come up. We're gonna continue to have these conversations. But listen, stay disciplined, stay focused.
Thank you,
and keep checking in.
Bye, Mel.
Bye. Nice meeting you.
Okay, Candy, go ahead and talk to Rick.
Yeah. So I mean, this is just not only for Rick, but this is my what I've been. What I've been hearing a lot on YouTube when it pertains to conversation regarding traditional relationships and modern relationships. And this, when you're talking about 50-50, just for clarification, are you talking about financially 50-50? Is that what that means?
Are you speaking to me?
Yeah, I'm asking.
I have not been able to get a good, clear answer on it at all. I thought for myself, the modern day, I wanted a woman that was a modern woman that wanted and expected 50-50 to come up and tell me, but there hasn't been one yet. Okay. So I'm thinking those were my thoughts, 50-50.
Power.
I was thinking it was responsibility and finance.
Oh, okay.
But
I was unsure what we were talking about. If we're talking about money or power or whatever. I don't know. So that's what I was trying to figure out.
Black man added to it that I put in 50% of myself and I do what I want to do with the other 50% of me. I haven't had a woman yet that subscribes to that to come and tell me exactly what she expects from her relationship, seeing that 50. So I really don't know exactly.
I think I subscribe to what you say, kind of security boss. It's more
Okay.
so, the money and then, the chores and stuff like that aspects. And then I do believe even within all that, the woman is going to want somewhat of a say in certain aspects. It's not like her voice, she's going to want to have a voice in the house. She's not just going to be quiet or wait for you to, you know, lead her per se. I don't know if it's like 50-50 in those decision makings, but it's not 0%. I can tell you that much.
Oh, okay. So now I have a better understanding of what the 50-50 thing, if we're talking, so I believe in 100%, 100%, right?
What is
Meaning
that?
that we both give as much as we possibly can to the love and respect in this relationship. That this is just the idea that I have, and it works well for me. The thing that I wanted to address Mr. Rick about was that, one thing on these platforms that I find difficult to have conversation, and sometimes I don't feel like I want to even entertain a conversation. I'm on here because I was, just wanting to open up the conversation, but sometimes I don't want to have these conversations simply because when Christians or traditional people or like, hey, Rick, you have your ideas and that works well for you and your family. And I respect that. I don't have any like pushback on it. I feel like that's what works well for you and your family. It's wonderful. What I don't understand is if I say that here in this house, it doesn't work that way, that we're a loving relationship, let's even pretend we're partners or we're teammates or whatever wording and verbiage that I want to use, right? But at the end of the day, we're both in a loving, responsible relationship in which we're both respected. Why is there so much pushback from some of these men saying that this relationship is confused, this house is confused? Why is there so much disrespect? I don't understand that energy when I can willingly say, you know what, that works well for you. That works well for your family. No wonder, no problem there. But why is there so much energy directed when people like me have the heart to say, listen, there's other ways of having a successful relationship also, and it might not look like your household, it's just different, but it still works well. Why is there so much pushback? That's my question for Mr. Rick.
Okay. I would say to answer that question, there's so much pushback because it comes from the base of I'm living my truth. Like, what I'm saying? People say, they say, I live my truth. There's no such thing. There is only one truth. If I say 2 plus 2, nobody can say, hey, you know what? It equals 7 in my world or equals 19 in my world. It's always 4. So when it comes back to pushback, it's because especially some of us men, we feel responsible for our community. I know I do. I feel responsible for my community. So I have to do things a certain way, and it had to be expected around from those around me. So when there's right and wrong, there are ways things should be done. As far as to build a community, you got to first have families. You got to put families together. Then you put families together. Then you got tribes. Then you got nations. But you can't build a nation of people without people actually on one accord. And you got people doing all different things. I believe this. I believe this. No, when you have people doing their own thing, that's when you have division and you have what you would call treason. So, and a lot of acts, black people don't realize are treasonous acts, but I ain't gonna go deep into that right now. So, yeah.
Can I answer that too?
Yes, please.
Yeah, because your relationship sort of reminds me of another relationship I seen. And just like you said earlier, like I was feeling the same way. You actually was submitting to your husband, you just didn't notice it. I think we was hearing so many different nuances to it that you kind of felt cringeworthy about it. But deep down inside, you kind of was doing that. Boss was pointing out earlier, and even Sway just alluded earlier with another dynamic I had talked about earlier. One, the 50-50 aspect. Yes, I explained it when it comes to money also too and stuff. But also it depends what city you live in. Most people don't make over 6 figures or even a lot to take care of most of the household like that. Some people gonna have to work both parties and contribute. But also too, I think Sway alluded also too, and you're actually showing it. You remember in the show The Real, right? You remember Jeannie Mai?
That show. I don't watch television at all. I don't watch TV.
Sway, you know that episode, right? Jeannie Mai, when she was talking about Young Jock, how she I want to come in my marriage being submissive. I want to be able my husband to take my ideas and give it to him so he could make the final decision, make a final plan and stuff. And that's definitely what you're living also too, Candace, with your relationship. You're technically formulating an idea, that's how you wanted to structure. He agreed to it, and you still allow him to make the final decision of it. You trust in him and stuff. Relinquishing power and stuff, but you still trust him.
I don't care about power. There's no power struggle here.
Your ideas also too that could make a final plan and stuff. So you still have a little say, you still have a say so, but he's not making it seem like you're low level of him. Like, yeah. And I think that's technically what it is. The pushback of that is like, there's so much pressure with certain guys in here, and they don't get misconstrued of the responsibility of actual leadership also too and stuff. And they get so frustrated, so many different people, different ideas and heads and everything that technically, yeah, the woman will have a mind also too. You got to be able to take her ideas also too and communicate a final plan and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can't
So
expect women
Candy,
knowing everything.
So Candy, and the way that the reason why you get the pushback from the men mostly is because they want men to be men, and if a woman is overpowering a man, that reflects on them also. So they're gonna give a lot of pushback, and they're saying that every home deserves structure, and
So
every
what
one.
makes you think my home doesn't have structure because it doesn't look like your home? That's what I'm asking.
Okay, so
That's the
I'm
question I'm
Well,
asking.
hold on for a minute. Hold on for one moment, Mel. Let me just complete my thought.
Oh, sorry.
I think they were answering your question, and I don't think they were talking about your home. But do you want to talk about your home?
No, okay, so we don't have to talk about my home. What I'm trying to express is that what works well for Mr. Rick, I respect, right? Remember talking about relationships, it's not mathematics, it's more like linguistics because it's too much nuances. It's not black and white. It's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's not 2 + 2 = 4. There's so many nuances when it pertains to love relationships. You have culture, you have your background, you have religion, you have I came from 2-parent house, I come from a certain culture. You have all these different nuances. It's not just black and white. So I don't like that, but so the whole point of the matter is what I'm trying to get to is if who cares what it looks like in my house, right?
They care what it looks like. He's just trying to.
Why do you care about what it looks like in my house as long as it's loving and respectful?
Okay, again though, I'm not sure why you taking this on as your house. I mean, if you don't,
use me as an
let me
example.
say this because you keep don't use yourself as an example.
Okay.
He's giving you the structure of a family, a marriage, a nuclear family. He's just giving you the structure: God over man, man over woman, woman over children. Whether you do it or not, he's not saying if you don't do it. He's not saying, Candid Ann, you're not doing it. So this. I don't even think he knows that about you. I don't know why you are even taking it on. But what he's saying is to be in order, divinely in order to take your relationship, your foundation to a different level in this world. This is what we need to do. And if you're not being a part of that, more than likely you're out of order in some way. Now you are embracing that to be yours because you keep saying my. I'm telling you, don't do that.
Right.
He's just giving you order, the divine order on his belief system. On his belief system, this is what he believes. That's all. He's not telling you how to do yours or where you went wrong. Anything. He's not even talking about yours particularly.
Right. I just
You
use me as
actually
an
asked the
example.
question. So,
I just use me as
so
an
listen
example.
though. Let me say this to you because you do use yourself as an example a lot.
Yeah.
If there's something that is not seamless in your relationship, it's up for you to change it. It's not up to anybody else to identify or point it out. So that's all we're doing. So you don't need to per se compare the structure. If it's something in your relationship that you don't like, it's between you and your spouse to make that change or to do those adjustments. So don't embrace this stuff. If you're good, be good. Use yourself as an example. Don't embrace everything that is being said if you're good. But if you're not good, then you would need to alter whatever it is in your relationship that you don't feel like is seamless, or that is why am I thinking this way? Why do I need to keep all my money in one pot? Why, whatever it is, whatever those things are that you speak of, that would be something that you would have to reflect on and just whether you want to alter it or not. I mean, but that's deep thought. That's on you.
So let me change it. Let me say if someone else had a partnership, right? What would be the forget me. If someone else would have a partnership in which instead of the man being the leader and the dynamic that you guys have in your house, if someone else has a partnership and that relationship was loving and respectful, what would be the problem? What would be the pushback? That would be
but she, because the answer she's asking for, she's asking for she's trying to figure out why is there. All right, so I'll try answering your question, Candy Ann, because I know what you're saying, right? In a very general sense, he's laying an outline that works for him. and you're saying I have an outline that works, you not you per se, but there are other people that have an outline that works for them. Why is it that the outline that doesn't fit yours, which is a more traditional one, criticized so heavily, and not, you know, the one that is traditional? The reason being, or the reason why men do that typically, is because we're logical and not thinking, right? So a lot of how we operate is from a logic tree. So if this, let's say there's the problem, here's option one, that didn't work, here's option two. A lot of men today are seeing option one, which is the non-traditional, you know, position in relationship, not working. And, you know, typically you can see a lot of flaws from different relationships, whether it be a celebrity or somebody you know, or the next door neighbor. Right. But, you know, as men, we're solution oriented, and that's how our mind works. So if somebody brings something that we're seeing not working and unfamiliar with, to us, we're going to comment on what we think is correct. Now, if you're the outlier, which sounds like is your case, you don't sound like somebody. I understand you don't have a traditional relationship, but your mannerisms and your sweetness or energy that you bring seems to be very maternal and balanced into the masculine energy that we haven't met yet, right? So it may work for you in that way, and it may lean more towards traditional than it does non-traditional, but we don't know the ends of your relationship.
Right.
So whenever someone brings the option or the opportunity to something that we've seen not work consistently, we're gonna be staunch on it, because we work in the mindset of risk mitigation. All right. So there's more risk going non-traditional than there is going traditionally. And that's why men seem so staunch on this one particular thing. It's a process of observation, right? Where you see fluidity in how things can go. Men are pretty binary. And that's how women also communicate as well. And I'm sure you've run into that issue with your husband, trying to tell him something going in circles, and he's like, I'm an arrow, shoot me in the middle of this doggone square. All right. So I understand what you're saying. And I have a video out about that. I have a video out about that, about women learning how to articulate to men. And I had the same thing happen with my girl, right? So, but anyway, I have a video out expressing this, how women communicate, right? There needs to be a balance.
Yeah.
Women need to learn how to articulate to men, but men also need to understand women's communication as well. So to answer your question, we think differently. That's why we hop on it so hard.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I understand now. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. Hello. I want to say, hold on one second though. I just want to say hello to everybody that just recently came in. I think we got the American Man, Cheeky, and Bethany. I think American Man, you came in first, but just hold, guys, and we'll be with you in just a moment. So go ahead, American Man. How are you? And welcome to the platform.
Thank you. I'm doing well.
I'm sorry. Can I say this real quick? I gotta go real quick. Yeah.
Okay, Mel.
Sorry, American Man. Candace, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you too. Also, too.
Who's speaking?
Male down
that means I'm gonna keep it 100. The real harsh truth. You got so many people in this space that are extremists. They've been doing so much negativity in their relationship over and over. This goes both for men and women, over and over, doing the same strategies as not work. So for them to see something that does work, and instead of looking up to people to find out how the date work, instead of, you know what, let me break out of my old habits. How did you make yours work? Let me try something different. They rather stay stuck in their old ways, sit back, make pair bonding groups, and hate on others who are actually more successful than they are. That's another reason why you've been getting pushed back also too, because you got some people just like to hate on yours, but you found a solution that works, and and other people don't like that. You know, boys go through that too. You push her back, but and everything. Everybody on this panel that's in relationships, successful relationship now, they're getting pushed back from more people that, you know, it's like it's so much pair bonding streamers on here that, you know what, instead of y'all just stop staying in your funk and take responsibility for your own actions and your own relationships or what you've done and everything, why don't you look back, reflect, take responsibility, and then try something different, try a new strategy. Take advice from those that have been more successful than you are, so you could probably find the better outcomes for yourself.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
An example of what you do. I think it works because you've been married a long time, so that does mean something. It means something to me. So,
but before we have a good night. You know what I'm saying?
All right, Mel, we'll see you soon. Before we get into it, American men, make sure y'all giving us a thumbs up as you come into the live. And I appreciate you all for being here. American man, it's on you. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, just in reaction, I kind of want to say, because there was a question posed about why there's commonly pushback against the partner dynamic, and when facing a relationship, instead of there's a leader and and a structure besides partnership. I think I can speak for myself and some of the men that I know and conversate with. The pushback is usually twofold. It's usually that there's, in history, we've gotten to the point that we've gotten to as a civilization, with this structure of God, man, wife, family. And it's kind of like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. It's kind of like that type of mentality. I mean, not to say society's not broken, but to say that that's not what's broken about society. And then also, I think the pushback is also the fact that you can call it a partnership, but at the end of the day, someone needs to be able to have the last say when there's a disagreement, and that needs to be decided upon. And I think personally, now I'm speaking for myself more personally, I find it to be a weak man that shies away from the responsibility that comes with the responsibility of having the last say, and being able to make those calls.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Thank you for being here also. You want to stay up for just a moment?
For sure.
All right. Thank you for that. Bethany, it's on you. I hope you're there. Bethany? All right. So we're going to go to Chicky first, and we'll go back to Bethany in just a moment. Chicky, how you doing today?
I'm well. About yourself?
Doing well. Thank you. I hope you know what I mean.
Yeah, no problem. No problem at all.
You came
there
in.
Go Bethany?
Bethany?
Oh, she's trying to turn it. There we go.
Can we hear you, Bethany?
Oh, she got a pretty smile. Look at her.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Unmute me. Okay.
There you go. Bethany.
It is a struggle over here.
How you
I've
been?
been good. How are you?
Doing well. I've been seeing you out there, girl.
We've been busy.
Don't worry about it. You representing. You know you are.
I'm trying to, get in a little here, a little there.
So what you got to add to this conversation that we're having? Did you hear me?
Oh, no.
Wait, say it again. It was breaking up.
I said, what do you have to add to this conversation that we're having?
I missed the first probably 30 minutes initially, but when it comes down to, I grew up in a traditional household, 2-parent household. Mom stayed home, but I think people come in with these extremes. So it's either you're barefoot and pregnant,
Logic, yes,
raising a house full of kids. And no, what Logic says, I'm not even mad at, because I understand where he's coming from in that mindset. But then there's the other side where it's like, you have this woman making $500,000, man don't want to do anything, and women working hard. I think there's a lot of extremes, and I just don't come from that. But I have girlfriends that have a degree, go to work, kids may be in daycare, husband still works, and they have a dual income household, and they do very well. Some women aren't willing to stay home with the kids or don't want to, and that's okay. But I think we haven't, on all these different platforms, I don't think we've kind of mapped out how can it work? Can a woman stay home? I think it's possible, but it has to be planned. And nobody's planning their families properly. For me, me and one of my girlfriends talked today, and she works, but they don't have kids. So if you're going to be married, have that dual income, pay off debt. Just put yourself in a better financial position. So in 3-4 years after getting married, hey, we can start this family now. Hey, wife, you could stay home for the first few years and raise our kids properly. So daycare is not raising them and having an influence on them and having these worldly views.
You're right.
So I think we need to process things and see like, okay, how can this work? We know here in the United States, most men are not making $80,000. So that number gets thrown around where it's like, okay, the average money Black men make annually is what, 45, 50? I don't know if it's a little higher. Okay, that may not be enough to raise a family of 4.
Right.
But if the wife is also making 60 as an accountant, okay, now you have a 6-figure household. Okay, let's save. We live off of one, save or pay off debt with the other. But I don't think people are thinking about this logically. And it's just like, I get married, I get pregnant on honeymoon. Oh, we have a baby the first year. Oh, now after 12 months of maternity leave. Oh, my baby has to go to daycare. I'm boo-hoo-hoo. Okay, y'all didn't plan this properly.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah, people spinning their wheels with it, and that just doesn't make sense to me.
You're exactly right. I don't think people plan for pregnancies at all. I just think they just have babies.
Yeah.
And that's babies are very expensive. You're talking what, $300 a week for daycare. Is that not the craziest thing you ever heard? 300, good. Y'all, that's $1,200.
Well, that's daycare, formula.
No, that's
having a kid is expensive.
That's just daycare. That's a mortgage, $1,200. That's a whole mortgage. So what you're talking about, Bethany, is being intentional. And I can't, listen, we got to push that. I might even get me a t-shirt that say intentional or front and back. We need to walk around with that because that stuff brings so much stress to a relationship, a marriage relationship. Money, the lack of that brings so much stress to a marriage relationship that it is very hard to love through that. That's very difficult. And I can see how that would be difficult. Very much
especially if you're not being intentional because you don't know what you're going into because you didn't plan it, so now you fall on these hard times and you have the added stress of it being unexpected, like it came out of nowhere, like you didn't know how much you were making, or the fact that you didn't go to college, so you can't make a certain amount, or
how about you just didn't know though?
Right.
How about you just didn't know $600 for a newborn to do the daycare? You got to be.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
Yeah.
For like a week?
Yes.
The funny thing is I came from a family in which I'd never been to daycare because my grandmother lived in the house with us.
That's beautiful.
So people often talk about, it's a mother, a father, and a child. But I also had my grandparents, and I never had to go to daycare because my grandmother watched me, and so it stayed within the family. And that's something I think we also need to talk about. Also, like we can't throw away our parents. Have them, if possible, if you can afford it, have them live with you because it's beneficiary both ways. You get to watch your elder; they get to spend time with their grandchild, and you get to save on the daycare. We got to keep this family structure going. So just because I don't agree with some stuff, trust me, I still believe in that family structure.
I mean, you are exactly right. Yeah, he said ESO is calling it the village, and you're right. It does take a village or the community because $600 a week, y'all. That's $2,400. That's a whole salary. You know what? I don't think we understand that, kids. I don't think y'all need to do research, not me. I'm done.
Well, it's funny you say that because I think there is a formula to this, and I keep telling myself I'm just kind of write it out. But when I went back to work after my first son, and I only worked a week, but my husband realized, he was like, okay, this is your salary, take out the taxes, then calculate the time you're driving, coming and going. And for me, it was about an hour each way. Time, gas. At the end of the day, I think after everything was said and done, I may have been probably clearing 30. And some people say, well, that's an extra $30,000. Like, okay, but it's $30,000 a year worth someone having influence over your child, spending 10 hours a day with your child.
Absolutely.
You got to weigh those pros and cons. Nah, that 30,000 may have a nice car, certain shoes. I get the luxuries that come with this lifestyle of dual incomes, but is it worth it?
Nah, that 30,000 would only be single-mindedness.
Yeah.
Home with them kids and raise them. But listen, right now is a good time to say, get those thumbs up, guys, when you're coming into the live. Also, make sure if you have not subscribed to Unsolicited, make sure you do so. And thank you so much for being here. Get those thumbs up. Get them up, get them up, get them up. All right. Thank you, Bethany. Let me go to Cheeky. Cheeky, what do you have to add to this wonderful conversation, sir?
Yeah, no, I caught like the waves of feminism and the 50-50 situation. I can give a definition that I've understood it to be is in responsibilities and duty, right? So that includes finances, like you're saying, but also the expectation would also, be like domestic work, right? So
Okay.
they mean like when 50-50 means a split in responsibilities, and that extends beyond fiscal things, right? So if she, like for example, works I don't know, 40 hours a week and you work 40 hours a week, the expectation from her to you is you're going to be washing dishes too. It's not going to just be me.
Right.
Yeah.
And when the clothes are dirty, if you're here and you have the time, you'll be cleaning those clothes because it's a 50-50 ordeal.
Yeah.
The problem that I've seen with the 50-50 situation is they tend to dwindle on one side, right? So it turns from 50-50 to 60-40 and then eventually 70-30. But the requirements is still 50-50. And that math just don't add up. And a lot of women find themselves in that position where it starts off 50-50 and then, they don't want 50-50 anymore because they start understanding that, hey, no, you have a role. And then it starts going to traditionalism, right? So it always happens to be on a spectrum. It always starts off non-traditional. Modern as can be 50-50, split it up 3 months in. It's like, all right, I want you to pay the light bill too now. And it's like, okay, well, all right, now I want you to pay the light and the water bill. So now it's starting to sway maybe fiscally, but domestically she's picking up on the other end. So when it comes to these 50-50 relationships, they're not honestly 50-50. They may start off that way, but they do not end that way because more than likely they do end. And the reason why they end is because of women's mindset today about sex and being sexually liberated. All right. If I'm a man, all right, and we're staying in a home and I'm having sex with you, the only thing you're missing is a ring, but I have everything that I would get with that ring.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm not married to you, right, but we're having sex and I'm living with you and we're sharing in responsibility, the only thing that you're missing is the full-on commitment.
Right.
But the dangers of that is what we know it to be for men if this relationship doesn't end after we committed to being in a relationship. So you got two different conundrums, two different issues that play a part in how relationships work, right? And it changes the dynamic ultimately. Because in this manosphere space, the first thing they tell you is, don't get married, because if you get married, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna be broke and dusty and broken, dusty and dusty and broke. And if you have a kid, you'll be broke, dusty, and separated from that kid.
Mm-hmm.
So in every way, the advertisement for marriage has dwindled to an all-time low simply because women and men don't share the same perspective as they used to before. All right. At some point, marriage was this thing that was honorable and something you did if you truly loved each other and it was a real commitment.
Still honorable, still a
Hey,
commitment.
Marriage within the context of today's time, no, it's not.
Marriage let you say that. Marriage has not changed. Marriage has not changed. The vows are the same. Marriage has not changed. Modern people have changed, but the marriage itself is the same.
Well, the men have become weak. That's what it is. The men have become weak. That's why marriage is like this.
The concept of marriage is not changed.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So the foundation of it,
right,
it's still the same. The house is the same. It's just the rest of the house is broke down and ugly.
Yeah, it's broke
still
down.
Got a foundation.
It's falling
still
apart.
The same, right? So
it's a bunch of weak men blaming women for them picking the bad women. That's what it is.
If you want to simplify it to that, you can. I don't agree with it. I think that it's bigger than a bunch of weak men. We're looking at a generational issue that started off at some point, right? So when you have a single mother rate of 80% within the community, the question starts becoming: did the man leave, or was he forced out? Right, and that starts becoming a whole different thing. Because if you watch a documentary on Hezekiah Films, there's a film that records in the late 70s, early 80s, women who were on child support and single mothers, and then you hear them talk about the men that they had babies with, and this guy already had babies.
Yeah.
So at some point, some level of accountability has to be associated with an autonomous being, unless these people are not autonomous, which if they're not, then you're right. It's all the man's fault.
Well, Cheeky, you kind of making, to me, you kind of making Rick's point, because the man is the person who actually, I can't have a baby without a seed.
You can't have a baby without his seed.
No, let me say that differently. I can't get pregnant without his seed.
Okay, yeah.
Let's say that. I got you.
Right. So that's not that's
the point he's making, though. I think
well,
that's
well, I understand that point, but again, if you're choosing one man and make 4 different babies with 4 different women, that's one weak man.
Yeah, but again, that's what he said. He said weak men are that's what he said. He said the weak men.
I think Cheeky's point is
he said he said there's a bunch. No, what he said specifically, is that there are a bunch of weak men, and that's the problem, and they're blaming the women. I don't think there is a bunch of weak men. I think there is, of course, we're going to have the subsect of men that just degenerate or weak, right? But for them to represent a bunch, I don't know if I could say that.
So let me add to that, though, Cheeky. So even if we have women who are single mothers, and we have men who either were pushed out, forced out, had to get out because of the government or whatever the situation is, I don't think that should stop them from being fathers. Because what happens is we're reproducing what we created. You know what I mean by that? Like, because they were not there for whatever reason, whether she pushed him out, forced him out,
or he left. Like that's the thing too. Yeah, he left. Yeah.
That shouldn't have kept him from being a father.
I don't know. I have to disagree because I don't know. From my personal experience, I've seen so many times. Most of the times that I see women as single mothers, they're not allowing the person that got them pregnant to be a father to their child. They don't allow that relationship to happen. They don't allow them to shape their child, raise their child, make decisions about.
Let me say something to you, the American man and American. This is what you are still making this point, but this is probably a lack of knowledge. When 2 people that are single have babies, that baby is not owned by either one of them. That man could have gotten custody of that child just like that woman had. But it's just something that we don't know. Black men don't know, don't investigate, or don't push through to find out. It's much easier to wait till that child gets of age to then go back to try to have that relationship.
Now
it's much more unlikely for a man who's fighting for custody to win.
Yeah, I agree with him on that one.
Right.
No, but you got to do if you didn't fight, you can't tell me how it's going to end up. I need you to fight.
Sure.
You know where he should have fought before he had a baby with this woman? Like he should have.
The baby's here now, Rick. We got to deal with reality. The baby's here.
No, reality. We gotta stop laying with these women that are unfit.
True.
Like without
without
for one, we shouldn't even have sex with them. But then we have.
Yeah, but the baby's here now. The baby's here. The baby's here.
I would argue that the subsection of men who are having babies with these women, the subsection of men that are these weak men that Rick Judah is talking about, I would argue that since the decline of the Black community around like the 60s and 70s, that's when it started. I would say since that time, that subsection of men hasn't grown any. I think that more Black women are choosing those men and have been socialized to choose those men since the decline of the Black community.
Can I touch on this really fast? I want to what he said. No, okay. As far as this subsection of men, here's one thing: no other culture of people is allowing a few. Let's say 7 out of 100 men is coming in and destroying the whole community. You know what these other cultures do? They excommunicate these dudes. They cancel these people. They don't really let these people influence their whole nation of people. They don't do that. Only we allow.
Look at China.
What I'm saying, it's a lack of men aren't holding other men accountable for being weak. We're not doing those things, and then we wonder why we have all this happening. And on top of that, the fathers, how's a father gonna let this one dude show up at his doorstep? Oh, look, he got 3 baby mamas. Yeah, you can have my daughter. Like, no, that's what come on, man. It's a failure of men, and we gotta face that fact at some point.
I don't disagree.
I think it's just responsibility on both sides. I agree with you. I actually agree with you on that point. Mr. Rick. But I also feel like this, and I'm going to try to say this gently, poor P management by women. Is that the best? I'm trying to say,
I was getting ready to say is
right, it's dual responsibility. The two have to come together, like these parts fit together. And
I
so
agree with
while
that.
men have to have more responsibility, and I agree with you that there are a lot of weak men out there, the men wouldn't be able to, have this interaction if the women would shut their legs to men that are not worthy of having access to their bodies, to their wombs like that. Like that womb should be respected. Women should respect themselves enough to be more discriminatory to the men they're deciding to have sex with. So maybe
Yeah.
that would force men to step up, make more, be better if they realized there was
If
a
they were more
higher
effective.
expectation in order for them to, get with a proper woman.
If they
Now,
were more selective. She's right about that, but I
well, see
still
that.
think if they put that sperm in the jar, I can't get it.
Well, the simple fact is, Rick Judah is approaching this in a way that I would, which is very traditional, which means it has to be a patriarchy. With that being said, we don't live in a society that will condone that, and we're not organized enough as a people to enforce it.
Right.
What you're talking about, Rick Judah, is you're saying, what about these other people? Well, they have an established culture and a history that they know of. You're a Hebrew Israelite. Let's say I'm a Nation of Islam, NOI.
Right.
We bumping heads on a theological and ideological premise, right? We may share some things, but we're bumping heads. So who's to say that my way is right and your way is wrong? And this is the whole black people are not a monolith. This is where it kind of backfires, because if we were more of a monolith, I think we would have a lot more easier ways to handle things and having a unified standard. The problem is, you're right, everybody has their own standard. So now you come from a household like me where I've taken the route to not have sex because of some of those implications. Those aren't the biggest implications, but they play a part in it.
Yes.
So for every one me, there's 50 not me's, right? And so you're asking men to, one, deny their natural and sexual desires, which I don't know if you are, celibate or whatnot, or an American man. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if any men are celibate like that. One, and then two, when you ask, I've asked women, would you be celibate? They say no too.
Yeah.
So if we really want to be honest, we're trying to prevent people from having, or trying to get people to think on a bigger picture and prevent themselves from entertaining and risking the opportunity of making a child. It's not happening, because even women today are saying, I don't know if I could do it for a year. I asked them, hey, would you be celibate for a year? And I kid you not, on a college campus, they said no. Not at all.
The comment in the section says, Cheeky is the future. You don't even know what you've said. You are exactly right. But guess what? There is a lot of satisfaction that goes into preserving yourself. And I don't think that Rick Judah is saying don't have the sex. He's just saying marry the woman.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Sure.
But how many
giving it up for free?
How many baby daddies?
If it's discount Punani, who not gonna buy the discount?
It causes you a life of strife. That's where we are.
No. It causes you a life of strife. If you shoot the club up and hit the target. But if you don't, you get to run another day. Look, man, men play that.
Run another day, Lord.
Look, I'm telling you right. I just said, it's funny, right? I'm about to contradict my words earlier to Miss Candidan, right? Here's my contradiction. Men will say we're logical and then do something stupid like that.
Stupid, yep.
Something stupid like go in raw, knowing good and well the baby could come out, but you know what? I'm logical, but I'm not. So men like to throw around, and this is where I get upset with men and say, y'all ignorant. Men like to throw around, hey, you know what? Men are logical. This is why we got to make decisions, but let it involve sex. Now they're stupid. And it's like,
that's why I say it's not always 1 + 1 = 2. There's so much nuances when it comes to relationships.
Let her be naked.
Why, yeah.
Try to tell me 1 + 1 is 2 when you naked. I'm gonna be like 3.
11. You might be like 11. But so then you have what they call it, PNC. Black men, where you at? They suffer from PNC a lot.
Post nut clarity.
Then it kicks in, and it's like I just lost my mind. Now I'm back. So what?
I stand firm on the fact that women really need to have proper management of their wombs.
Yeah, they
You know,
should.
they absolutely need to, because it's ridiculous to me that women are scuffling and upset about making a man a plate of food, but you have no issues getting on your back. I don't understand the logic to that.
Hey,
I
I'm
don't
with you,
understand
sis.
the
I
logic to
understand
that.
because one's traditional and one is modern. It's traditional to make a plate. It's real modern to have as many sex partners as you can handle.
Hey, so
And
and,
I want to
It
make the
makes no
point
sense,
that
but that's what they do. I'm
I
sorry.
want to
Who's
make the I want to make the point that you don't see a lot, like when we talk about, you know, men having to be responsible about who they're having sex with. Most of the men I know are. I don't see that many baby daddies who are these upright, responsible, respectable men. But the problem is you see respectable, upright, educated business women putting themselves to bed with these irresponsible, disrespectful men, and you see it all
It
the
That
works
time.
both ways.
because they
let me
have
not be
book
long to
sense but
make
no
that
common
point.
sense.
No, 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 no. Hold on.
No, they be in heat. They be in heat.
No,
They be
I
saying
think
that's what cheeky banter
Well,
suffers from trying to count naked.
So
but it
That
really
that
men
They
are
divesty
cannot
lady
attract
why
just
would
had a
leaders
child
the
with
type of man that they
playing
want,
cookies on
maybe.
YouTube.
Listen,
why
I
would
didn't hear all
leaders
that. Who was,
allow
wait a
can
minute.
y'all
women
not hear
that
me?
choice?
Cynthia
Wait a minute.
said she's
it's
a
a couple
divester.
people talking.
Wait, hold on. E-Man, hold that thought. Sway, what were you saying? Say it again, Sway.
I was just saying maybe there's a possibility of, by chance, I don't know, that they just can't attract the man that they want, and they just that's
To
just
keep
the
it a
men that they attract. You know, the Dusties, the Crusties, maybe the people who have something going on
No, I
wrong with
think they
them.
want them for
The
different
Pookie
reasons.
Ray Ray, the one that maybe just want to bust them down.
Yeah. There you
First
go.
of all, if all these educated black women, I'm saying educated meaning they went to college and a lot
Mhm.
of them are getting more degrees. I'm still wondering what is going on from the day you graduate college to 27, 32. You can't tell me you're not having sex. So are you saying you didn't date in college and you were so focused? And if you were so focused, I expect you to be on Dean's list. And after college, you're working your professional job. Are you not dating? So I'm
You
like,
know
what do
what
you
happened?
mean you didn't have a?
They
They
broke up with
were
their
having
college
hot girl
boyfriend to
summer.
pursue a
They
career.
They're supposed to be in
they
their
was
father's
having
house.
hot. They was having hot
What
girl
you talking
summer.
about?
They was trying to get
Let me be
hot,
very transparent.
and then they
I
got
had my
old.
hot girl summers for 2 years. And I'm like, this is overwhelming. I got tired of the attention. I got tired of trying to figure out what conversation I had with this one and that. I ain't got time for that. Baby, I'm locking it down. I deleted people off of social media, deleted phone numbers, got a new phone number. I don't have time for this. I don't have
You
time
made
for
it
this.
out. You made it out successfully. Not all women make it out of hot girl summer successfully.
No.
Some
Hey,
of them
but
stay in the wall.
Most
Listen,
don't.
Kate S talks about that wall all the time. Some of them stay in too long and they hit that wall.
Yeah,
but
I
it
mean,
goes
but
back
then
to
women can't say, "Oh, I'm not having sex." No, you're having sex with a lot of different people for all these years that you've not committed to one
Well,
person.
that's what single by choice means.
Yeah, okay.
I
I'll give you
agree.
that.
Yeah.
But
But
it goes
everybody want a baby. At the time they hit 32, everybody's like, "Oh, I want to have a family." With who?
cut off.
I mean, I know personally, I know
Sister
people
Code,
that are
Sister
single
Code
mothers.
enacted. They said, someone that talking.
Somebody heard you, Bethany. Somebody heard that because you stopped right in the middle. So listen, E-Man, you back. So that must mean you got to add some fire to this pot. What you got?
Can y'all guys hear me fine?
Yeah, just don't. Yeah, we can now.
I just think it's crazy that we think that this is majority of men. I think me going through college, it wasn't a whole bunch of people going through college just spitting out babies from a man's point of view. It wasn't a overwhelming of this. So when we get to this YouTube space and we start talking about this toxic man that's pregnating all the black community, and we say they're influencing the business class, it's straight BS. What is influencing? The influence is coming from the music. When we see people like Future with 8 baby mamas and then we glorify it and give them millions of dollars. So it's not us in the business class that is just holding these people accountable. You got to understand this agenda that this baby daddy to have 6, 7 different baby mamas because of his money have been the narrative that been pushed outside of our community. We just decided that we wanted to take hold of it, in my opinion.
These
All
dudes
right,
that talk
all
about
right.
Future being a Pookie wish they was Future. They the same ones supporting him, listen to his music.
I
See,
disagree.
again, it's not. We simplify a lot of these things, and it's just not that simple. Bethany, I know, and this is where I try to show grace to women. All right, because sometimes I do be hard on thoughts. I'm not gonna lie about it. Like, I be hard on hoes. I do.
All right, all right.
But I understand.
Okay.
Right, but I understand that every hoe got a story, right? You just don't happen,
Facts.
right? So the question you asked was, how are these college educated women allowing this to have blah blah blah, right? And they're educated, but they don't have common sense. But you have to understand the nature of a woman. It's emotionally charged, right? It ain't hard to get into a woman's pants if you tell her the right things. It's not hard for you
They
to.
don't
It's
understand.
not
That's
hard.
all.
It's not hard for a man to get into a woman's pants if you make her feel comfortable and not judged, right? Because no woman wants. Every woman may deny it, but they still feel that social pressure of wanting to be a good girl.
I agree.
Even the hoes. Hoes don't want to be hoes all the time. Like
Especially the whole.
hoes want love too.
I think a hoe want to
Well,
be wanted.
they keep
Well,
dressing like them
I
though.
think a
but
hoe
see,
want to be married. I think a
okay,
hoe.
Bethany,
Definitely.
you're saying they keep dressing like that, but it's due to one, a false understanding of what results are. Right? They thinking that I'm able to have sex, which gives me some form of validation physically,
Yeah.
right? And sex for men and women is very different. So emotionally, they're experiencing that. He's sweet talking in my ear. He tell me he love me. No, he not. He just want a nut. And then once he get that nut, he don't love you no more. Like, I love you for 2 minutes and 55 seconds, and then that's it. And then you know what I'm saying? And
Hold
he
on
keep
for a
That's
minute.
how long it is.
Mr. Banter, I'm gonna need you to calm down and hold some of that for me, please. Just stop. Just stop right now. I
Okay.
don't need you to say anything else.
All right.
Mr. Banter is done for the day. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's welcome Sir Hill Speaks to the platform. How are you, sir? You looking awful. You look like you've been performing tonight. Look at you.
He got his shirt unbuttoned. What's going on?
He about to bust out his song.
Hey, button your shirt up, buddy. This is a family show.
I see you over there. Look at you. How you doing?
Steve Hanley.
This is what you call me relaxing. Me relaxing
I got
tonight.
you. I'm just kidding with you. How you doing though?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing well. So you've been listening to this. I know you have. So what do you have to add to all of this?
I think a couple things. I think men is a talking point where we just say men a week. It's men a week. I think we got to get past that. Like a lot of the things that we say because it sounds masculine to say men a week.
Right.
And we have this assumption. And let me tell you why I'm saying this. Me getting married at 19 years old, I was supposed to perform like I was 40. And when you take on that pressure, you take on a lot of stress. You lose your youth because you don't get youth at that point. You can't make mistakes. And what that does is if you don't have like the grace to grow, when you get older, you're going to start acting a fool. One of my elders said this. She said, son, if you don't be a young fool, you're going to be an old fool. I'm like, what do you mean by that? What she was saying is if you try to rush through and grow up too soon, you're going to skip steps. And this is why I said it's important for young couples to grow with each other, because if you skip steps, you're going to be an old fool. You're going to be in your 40s doing stuff because you feel like you'd have missed out, like you'd have wasted your time. I missed my 20s. I was having these kids. You got to allow yourself to grow. And both of you have to understand that in the first year of marriage, you're not going to get 10-year results in the first year. It's going to take you some time. You got to show each other some grace and be patient with each other as they grow. Men do not start off being leaders just because we're men. It's got to be cultivated. And that's why I wanted to push back on men are weak. You know what I mean? No, men are underdeveloped. Like a lion is still a lion no matter what stage he's in. But he's an adult lion when he's gone through the fights and learned how to hunt. And I think we expect men to be grown lions. And he ain't even gone through the steps yet. And so I wanted to push back on the men for saying, men need to be men because they're weak. It's deeper than that.
Okay, so can I touch on this point?
Wait a minute. Yeah, you can't hold your thought, but you also have to give the woman grace for not knowing everything that needs to be done domestically or managing a home,
For sure.
or even for herself.
Especially if you're not telling her as a man.
Oh,
or you don't know. Like,
Yeah.
Candy Ann made a point about that.
Yes,
And
thank you.
Bella, Candy Ann and Bella both said something.
Bella
That's true.
said, yeah, Bella said, well, if the man, but listen, if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, I say don't mess with it yet. Just wait. But getting it perfected. Me and my husband grew up together.
It takes time. You grow together. You learn together. That's why I didn't understand, like, if I'm surprised that I agree with Sir Hill. I was just shocked.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I was shocked.
it's a magical moment. It's a magical moment.
Because you absolutely do. I've been in this relationship since I met my husband in 1997. There's been no outside anything, nothing, and this relationship is stronger all the time. We've gone through we've gone through so much together. We've gone through parents and all kinds of different, our parents getting older, ill, blah blah blah, whatever. We go through life together, and so that's why I didn't understand sometimes definitions of submission and tradition and modern and 50-50. I have to get some kind of understanding as to what it means in this, because you talk to one person that might mean something else. But to get to my point, the point is really that you grow together, and at the end of the day, no matter what happens, he is still the man. I don't care how much money I make or don't make. I don't care if I stay home with the kids or I work. He's still the man. There's no question about that. He's still the man in here. But this whole idea about the leadership and stuff like that, you grow. Give him grace. He still respect him. Like, why, if he's made a mistake, you still respect that man. So I don't understand, like, sometimes, and I'm thankful that so many people came on here and explained the nuances, because it's not, for me, it's not just so black and white. I've been in this relationship for a long time. You grow together, you learn, you make mistakes, you apologize, you don't do it again. There's so much that goes on. So why I don't like the black and white, the 1 + 1 = 2. There's a lot of stuff that goes on there. And truthfully, if I was to really come on here and talk about the nuances, I would never, because there's things that as a wife, you never discuss. The only thing that him and I only know that. Whatever it is in our relationship, because there's certain things, as much as I want to share and talk about a wonderful relationship, there's a line that I won't ever cross, because I have respect for my husband's privacy, that I will never discuss with another woman, another soul on this earth. It's between him and I. And so I wish I could tell you all the awesome things about love and relationships, but sometimes you just got to miss out, because there's a line there's something that needs to be sacred there. And so, I'm happy that we had this discussion, because, like I said, just because my relationship might not exactly look like yours, it's still within the realm of respect, love, dignity. And so that's why I'm happy to, just to contribute a second eye on this thing. Mine doesn't look like Emmanuel. I know Emmanuel's over there ready to explode and go off on me, but that's okay. The thing is, I think Emmanuel and his relationship, that works fine for them. And I love it. It works well for them. Right? I don't have any disrespect for that. I think it's a wonderful thing. So yeah.
So Candid, and I'm just glad that you're here talking. And
yeah,
you don't have many.
To hear what you just said.
You're welcome to come back at any time.
Thank you.
Because like I said, you should be, and you are an example. So I agree with that. You don't have to do the things that everyone else does. It's totally up to you. If it's working, let it work. And Bethany, I've tried hard to have you on the show.
Emmanuel, though, security. You see Emmanuel shaking his head.
Where does he disagree? Where does he disagree?
Emmanuel, what is you shaking your head about, sir?
Let me unmute so you can hear me now, right?
I can hear you.
Let's be very. I want to make sure everybody understand that I word. It is certain. If I am building a house, it's certain steps that have to be in every single house.
Okay.
Or the house will fall. If the house do not have a foundation, it is going to fall. So yes, you can paint the house whatever color you want. You can put grass or sand in front of your house. When we talk about the foundations of relationships, they are the same, or it will fall. Point blank and period.
Can I respond to that?
Okay. But wait a minute though, E-Man. I just got one. I agree with that, and that's how my house built on a foundation. But I think you often talk about marriage being a business. So are you saying within that contract that you're talking about, we can't have several agreements that will hold that contract together?
Good challenge, security boss.
No, the furniture. Yes, you can put whatever furniture you want in your house. But the
I
basis,
know, I'm talking about the original contract that was written. The original contract has outlined several different things that should be done, and it's a contract, right?
All right, so if we look at contract law, I need to have two people for a contract, right? You got to have two sides in a contract. That's the foundation of a contract. Now, we can agree. I'm not saying that
I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I'm missing something right now. We got two people, so you might know. I mean, you might be talking about something else. I don't know.
No, what I mean about the foundation, right?
Right.
The foundation should be the same over all marriages, right?
Okay.
But what you can do is when we start talking about stuff like window placement, right? We know that every house got to have a structure. When we start talking about where a window is going to be at on a house, that can be different. So I agree kind of with Candy Ann saying that certain things that might work in my household might be different for her house, but I believe all successful marriages have the same foundation.
100% on point. 100%.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Have the same core components. But can I respond to something? And I want to make this clear. I think the reason why people like Candy Ann, and again, me and Candy Ann, we don't agree on very much. Out of all of our conversations, I did a rough calculation, and we agree on roughly about 17.2% of things. So, but that number is climbing. We're trending in the right direction. So this is good. So I think one of the difficult things that Candy Ann gets pushback from, because we don't typically see Black women who are earning able to separate their earning potential with their power in relationships. So you don't really hear relationships that I earned, but he's still the man. Like, you don't hear this, right? Generally, when she's dependent on him, and when I don't say she can depend on him, when she's dependent on him, right? Then there's a difference because she needs something. Very rarely do you have women that can really go do it themselves and have that ability and still respect their men as they head. And so this is why I do appreciate people like Candy Ann and you, Security Boss, because you say things like, when we work, this goes into the same house. And even though Candy Ann is saying we got separate bank accounts, it's still the same house. And I think we don't see enough of this, and that's where there's so much pushback. Like, again, I don't agree with everything Candy Ann says, but you look at results. If we have a Black woman who's on here 25 years in, doesn't disrespect her husband, comes online saying he's the man, high earning, beautiful, carries herself well, then whether or not we agree with the windows, E-Man, I think that the structure that she's built a marriage on is something that we can all learn from, whether we agree with it or not. And I think we have to stop gauging marriages, the success of it, off of the theory, and look at the smile on the other person's face. If that man is smiling, then whatever she's doing is working, and vice versa. If that lady feels secure and she's smiling, then something's working, and we can take advice from that.
Right.
That sounds like emotions. That sounds like emotions. Like, happiness is fleeting. That's not 100%. You know.
Well, I speak about respect. I don't talk about only happiness. I talk about a lot of respect and about my husband being the man. So, granted, yes, we're not happy every single day, but this is mostly very happy, respectful relationship. I've spoken about how I've never called him out of his name ever. I don't care how angry or how annoyed he makes me. I've never once ever called him out of his name other than a term of endearment or his name. And I did come on here specifically because I know that I'm not maybe the norm, and I want women to respect their men despite how much money they make. And I'm so happy that Sir Hill said that, because I don't think that money is fleeting. If you find someone that loves you, respects you, like, let's let go of this nonsense about the 6-figure, the 6-pack, the 6 feet tall and all this nonsense. Let's let go of some of these superficial things and really get down to the nuances of caring for someone and really respecting someone. That's why I wanted to enter the conversation. And if your relationship isn't based on Christianity, if it's based on some other religion, or it's based on, maybe the two of you, not me, I'm making about someone else. If the two people are atheists and it's still loving, 2 parents, a household that operates on respect and love, I think there's still room to respect that union.
Okay, can
that's kind of where I
respond to the men being weak comment after he goes.
I just want to say this just real quick.
Can I ask a question though? Can I ask a question? You know what, Candy, and I want to ask you a question, but I'm not going to ask it.
Candid, not Candied. Sorry, Candid.
Sorry, Candid. You're right. I'm wrong. I didn't mean interrupted it. I want to ask you a question, but I don't want to be.
You can ask me anything. If I don't feel comfortable, I'll say I don't feel comfortable. But I don't feel, if I come up on a panel, I expect there to be questions and comments. So you never feel any way about it. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you: Are you married?
Yeah.
Are you married? You have a ring on your finger, but are you married?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been to the courthouse, did the whole thing. Like, what
I'm
do you
not
mean by
understanding
married?
what's so different and non-traditional about you and your. I'm not getting it. I'm not understanding what these big differences are from these men. So that's why I'm just asking, what's so off? I'm trying to figure it out. So I just had to ask. But proceed on. Rick Judah, I think you were next.
It sounds like it's about finance. That
Yeah, we don't
she's
care about
not
finance.
the 100% breadwinner, and she's just staying at home, taking care
No,
of the kids,
I think when you telling people
being a
that,
housewife.
when you tell people that love, it's not about money, it's about love and respect until your light bills due, until your mortgages due. Like, money is important factor in relationships, but I kind of get what you mean, what it comes off as when you say money's not that important, six figures not that important. I understand that. Just find somebody that love you and respect you.
Okay.
I think hold on. A lot of women are doing that. They're finding men that love them and respect them, and they ain't out here paying these bills, and that's why they homeless altogether. So that's I get. That's the point that I'm making, is that money is a factor when we talk about the characteristics of a man need to take care of a family. That's the pushback.
Okay, so right, what I was saying, and I respect that, and I do agree with that. Money is a factor. I would not feel happy if I didn't have lights, a computer, and heat, and all these different things. What I'm trying to say is the respect that women give towards men in the dynamics that we're talking about. And mention, okay, this year, I made more money, right? Because of whatever reasons, the nursing and the C-19 and blah blah blah, right? That doesn't mean that all of a sudden I decide to be the man in this house. What I'm trying to say is, of course, money matters for paying bills, for practicality and for utility. But what I'm trying to say is respecting our husbands should not be any less, despite the fact that I might make more or he might make less, or whatever the dynamics is. These men are still due respect. They are still due to not call them out of their name, despite the fact that he might be making 50 and I might be making 60,000. It doesn't matter. He's still the man, and we should respect these men despite how much they make. I'm not talking about, nothing's being paid and we're accepting any, I guess people say Pookie and Ray Ray. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about people making good money, and it might be a little bit skewed in the woman's favor, or if she might make. You're still due to respect that man. That's my opinion. That's what I'm
because I don't see the differences in between what you're saying about your marriage and what I say about. I don't see the difference. So
for me, the difference is that, like, I'm just happy first of all, thank you for not seeing a difference. I love that. So I thank you for that. But what I came on to express is that oftentimes when people talk about traditional relationships, they talk about women staying home and being the caretakers and taking on that particular role. And there's no room to experience someone that might make more, but still believes in those same values. Okay,
I want to respond to that.
Wait, Bethany was trying to say something. What's up, Bethany? Wait, the woman.
I think. Oh, thanks, Cheeky. I think when Miss Candace said, when she said they have separate accounts, I think everybody's antennas went up. And I think when you say y'all split the bills, everybody was like, well, wonder how that works. At the end of the day, if your husband said, hey, I'm taking care of household things, no, whatever, utilities, you pay for cars, the vacations, groceries, however you split it. I'm sure y'all not taking a mortgage statement saying, okay, babe, it's $2,000. Where's your 50? Here's my 50. No, I don't think it's that. It may not be that literal. And so,
and even if it was, that's their.
I know people that do very well, and the wife, that's right. And the fact that you respect your husband, I appreciate that, because I'm in a traditional marriage. I'm a stay-at-home wife and mom of two. So no, I don't have no side account to take my trips, and no, my husband is all one pot. But guess what? I have access to every single account. So it is what it is. But I also have girlfriends who they're married and they're like, hey, this is the house account, and every week or two you take your little allowance, husband too, and the wife takes hers. You do what you want with your money. That shoes, save up for a trip, save up for your husband's birthday big present. That's your business. But the household is taken care of. And at the end of the day, if you're respecting your husband, his leadership, his masculinity, him as your man, amen. Be happy about that.
That is the most important thing. That's the main thing. That's the main thing.
Don't make the salary amount I'm gonna respect you if you make over this threshold.
Exactly.
No. But you know what? I think society, this is my point. Society, women, we don't respect men just for being a man.
Right.
I respect the man stocking the shelves at my local Kroger to the CEO of my old company. I'm gonna respect because you're just a man. I'm a crack a smile. Hey, how you doing? I hope you're having a great day, and keep it moving. But if women, all women, not just black women, if you just have an ounce of respect for the fact you a man, you got a penis, God made you a man, thank you. That's all it has to be. And that's the least we can do as women.
At least.
That's the least we can do.
Yeah, can I respond to that?
Look at them, both married.
Listen, hold on, y'all. I love the energy, but listen, I gotta go. I've been here like 3 hours and 50 minutes.
Where you going?
Hold on. I'm gonna be here tomorrow at 4:00 again. Tomorrow, Saturday at 4. I want all of you to come back, and we're gonna continue this conversation. We're gonna add a little different, part to it because we kind of moved away, but then we're still riding. And I want you ladies, if you're not busy tomorrow, definitely come back because I need some of this female energy here. And DP, I'm sorry, sir, but you're gonna come back tomorrow and we're gonna get you first. It's time.
Hey,
But
I'll be
listen,
teaching separate class, so I ain't gonna be here tomorrow. But
It was nice meeting you. Thank you for your thank you. It was nice meeting you. And I appreciate the fact that even though we disagree, I'm thankful to you for being respectful to me and allowing me to still have a voice on this, during this discussion. So I thank you for that, brother. Yeah.
so listen, y'all, tomorrow I'm doing something new. Y'all remember I told y'all it's so much conflict that night. So I'm doing Friday, Saturday at 4:00. So keep that in mind. Fridays and Saturdays at 4. This is going to be my new time because it's been very good. The conversations are good. The comments are outstanding. You all are participating. I couldn't ask for anything more. I appreciate you all, and I will see you all tomorrow at 4. Thank you for being here. Bye, guys.
Let's get
those thumbs up, y'all. I need you.
Let's keep playing these games that we don't want to finish. And I'm sorry if that sounds a bit bitter, but I am to the core. You want the whole damn thing, then you ask him for more. You want that old jive swing, you take up all of the floor. I'm fine with standing at the edge of the door. You be the life of the party, I blend in with the core. You drink it all to Bacardi, till the bottle's no more. Let's take it back before this started. You want the love, I don't got it. Got my soul on the road. You scream and stay, baby, please don't go. Don't think it's in me to listen to foe. It's so different with distance, we roam into zones where nothing get heard anymore. I just wish I was home when I stepped through front door, but instead I'm alone and completely unsure. And even though you're screaming out with the best of intentions, I don't get it. Why do you always gotta ask me to stay? Why you always gotta go? Playing house, this ain't a home with your soul on the road. Say, why you always gotta go? Playing house, this ain't a home with your soul on the road. See, I've been lost in my thoughts, and my thoughts they too scared to usher off. Sorry, Ma, I just thought you were my world. Now you're not. And I'm just sitting, smoking, sloping in a daze, cause my days ain't been the same since I drove here. I remember the way you wrote letters in blue ink. You and me was in love. Think about what your crew think. I know your moms probably think I'm a bastard. Your pops probably want to beat my to death and take a in my casket. But I got sick of fighting, bickering, fussing over nothing, cussing. Instead of watching the death of discussions that we once had, days that we once spent in the backseat of our cars, reading poets at sunset. It's funny how love can fall out the foreground, get pushed into the back of your mind. We used to twist a spliff and laugh and relax. Are you crying? And I'm trying to find a reason, so I ask, does forever ever happen? Or is it always fade to black? I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul. On the road, I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul. On the road.